Jar and Levine Studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Y'all keep telling me how bad the Jacksonville Jaguars are. There are people around the country that would like to cover the Jacksonville Jaguars right now.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, Brad.
They are amazing.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
I mean, every weekend we come in here. Every Monday. I mean, quarantine yourself. Good thing the Jags have not. Don't get Leonard Fournette off Twitter. Keep Jan on Twitter. Keep Tony Khan on Twitter.
Oh, Tony Khan with some clapbacks.
Wow, what a day, an hour, and really just what a year. I mean, I'm not talking 2020. I'm talking go all the way back. Absolutely incredible. Happy Monday, everybody. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos here. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope your family is doing well and being safe, and you're still getting to enjoy some things and family time, and I'm sure you have cabin fever. But it is draft week, so we do have the draft. The NFL draft is here, and, you know, I said this to several people. I said it on TV last night as well on CBS 47 and Fox 30, Action Sports Jax Primetime. You can make the case. I know the Dolphins have, 14 picks, 15 picks, something like that. The Jaguars are the most entertaining team coming into the week, and, well, the Jan stuff and Tony Khan stuff of the last hour just adds to it. But the Jaguars are the most entertaining team in the draft. I understand you want to be entertaining on the field, you want to win. I get it. Let's just stay in the present, folks. They are the most entertaining team of this draft. I think they are going to move all around the draft board. They have 12 picks and ammunition to do it. They have ammunition next year with 9 picks. And they have Yannick Ngakoue and Leonard Fournette on the block to trade, 2 big names to trade potentially on draft day. The Jaguars are, without question, the most entertaining team, in my opinion, in the 2020 NFL draft. Now, the biggest player in this draft to watch that could make or break or is fascinating is Tua. But keep in mind, that could be over in the first hour. If Miami or the Chargers take him, that could be over. Now, he could be super entertaining, and it could last all night long. But from a team standpoint, the Jaguars Thursday, Friday, Saturday could be absolutely fascinating to watch. And then there's the last hour. How surprised, first of all, that Yannick Ngakoue, if you haven't caught it, he went right after Tony Khan. I mean, he is fed up. He's so frustrated. Listen, we've been talking about this for months and months, but really the last few weeks, we said he was frustrated. You could tell he was frustrated. He's done some very good things in this negotiation, and now he's done some very bad things, too, in terms of poor management of this whole situation. And now he's the one that's mishandling this situation. No doubt. Today was a mishandling of the situation, in my opinion. I'd like to get yours. But he sends a message to Tony Khan. Tony Khan responds. They go back and forth, and we'll read them to you. But how just surprised are you? You've got to remember now, Tony Khan is not necessarily the owner of the team, but he is necessarily the owner of the team.
Yeah.
That is going back and forth with a player on Twitter.
Listen, first of all, am I surprised that Yannick Ngakoue on 4/20 of 2020 has decided to go full Ramsey? I am not surprised, okay? I said this was going to happen months ago, and here we are now. What you have right now is a man that is desperate to get out of Jacksonville and is willing to do whatever it takes to do so. Keep in mind, the draft is a big period for Yannick Ngakoue because essentially, once the draft's over and rosters are kind of set, they're going to have a hard time, I think, trading Yannick Ngakoue, especially, during the offseason. Now, once the season starts and you're halfway through the season, then possibly. But it's Yannick Ngakoue's goal right now to get traded either before the draft, obviously, or during the draft. And this was like the Hail Mary. This was the checkmate, if you will. This was him putting all his chips in one basket and saying, you know what, I'm all in here and let's dance. The problem is, though, is that he directed the frustration. He directed the animosity towards the wrong person. If he were to just take the Jaguars organization and all these tweets and everything, and we're going to go over them here in a little bit, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. But the problem is, man, that you went after Tony Khan. And keep in mind who Tony Khan is, all right? Now, Tony Khan, obviously, he's big in the analytical side of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've worked with him a little bit. I think he's a great guy. But remember when Jalen Ramsey was doing his whole thing and causing all the controversy? Who was the one guy from the organization that went on Twitter and had Jalen Ramsey's back? It was Tony Khan, okay? So he didn't have to have his back, by the way, but Tony Khan went out of his way to have his back. So with that being said, I think Tony Khan has the players side more than anybody in that front office. Yannick Ngakoue made the mistake to go after Tony Khan. Now, Tony Khan, nice guy and everything like that, but don't push him in the corner, man, all right? Because the guy's prideful, and he'll push right back. And that's exactly what happened to Yannick Ngakoue. You try to pop off at Tony Khan, and yeah, okay, it was cool. I mean, I see where you're going with it, but guess what, man? You're trying to play checkers against a guy that's playing 3D chess right now in Tony Khan. And to me, he didn't make you look good, okay? And this is the first time that I've actually ever been against Yannick Ngakoue. Through everything that Yannick Ngakoue has done, through all the Twitter stuff that he's done, all the interviews, I have not once said Yannick Ngakoue is making a mistake because I get what he's trying to do. He's doing everything in his power to get out of Jacksonville. So be it. You don't want to be here, then do what you got to do, man. I respect you for that. But I cannot come with Yannick Ngakoue on this one. I can't come with you when you try to go after Tony Khan, when you try to spill some tea over something that's supposed to happen in in Los Angeles against the Chargers. I guess I can't come with you on that one. And truth be told, I think Tony Khan won that argument. I think it puts Yannick Ngakoue in a bad light. And obviously, it does not help his trade stock.
It doesn't. And that's the bigger thing for Yannick Ngakoue. That's where the mistake is made. It doesn't matter if we agree or anybody agrees with what Yannick is doing. I think the reality is, will this hurt his ability to get traded? He does this on a Monday of draft week. Let it go, man. Let it play out. If this is the Monday next week when you don't get traded, I get it. I get the frustration. It doesn't make sense. Sit tight. Don't alarm other teams. Don't red flag other teams, Jan, because this is alarming now if I'm on another team. You know, you can handle stuff. Listen, everybody knows what they're getting with Jalen Ramsey when they trade. From the Rams knew what they were getting. They knew that he was a guy that was trying to position himself. They knew what it was to get out of Jacksonville. They also know, you know what, down the road, we might have a little drama with Jalen Ramsey. It's kind of the way he is. But also, Jalen Ramsey is considered the best at his position in the NFL, if not top 3, right? Clearly. Well, if you have that kind of cachet, you take chances on that kind of stuff. Yannick Ngakoue is not considered top 3. He might think he is, but he's not. And he might be top 10. We say maybe in between 8 and 12. But that might still be on the high end depending on how people view it. Well, now you're losing teams. There will be teams that say, hey, whoa, what are we dealing with here? We're going to go trade away a first-round pick, or we're going to go trade away draft capital, and then we're going to go give this guy a contract? Is he going to turn around and do this to us at some time too? What are we getting here? Because this wasn't the guy that we thought he was for the first 4 years. Now, all of a sudden, we're seeing it in 4 months unfold, and that's scary. If you're a team that's about to make that kind of investment, that's just reality. You can sit here and say, Brett, come on, man. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's about sacking the quarterback. I get it, but it's a hefty investment. And so risk is always invited to the table when you're talking about investments like this. And he's just adding to the risk with this kind of stuff. Now, he could have already been, but this is a different animal today. I mean, he bounced into a different stratosphere with what he did today. Let's get right to it, okay? No soft opening here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
How's everybody's weekend?
Great.
You guys
good.
All right,
Let's go. Let's get right into the tweets, okay, in case you're just jumping in on
Who's music?
And you haven't seen
We got the
it.
music?
Jan tweets take on a different tone now. So here, you got to help me out, by the way.
Yeah,
so he
what do you
tweets
got?
at Tony Khan, and he says, "Stop hiding, Mo." M-O-E.
Yeah.
Translation?
From my understanding, from what I've asked around, it's like bro, basically. It's a different vernacular to say, dude.
My man?
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Okay. Tony says, "I'm not hiding, sir. I'm in isolation, getting ready for the draft. I've been pretty active on social media in isolation, but you wouldn't know that since you unfollowed me." In parentheses, again.
Didn't have to say that. Could have just said, I'm getting ready for the draft, and just everything like that, and just go about your business. But no, came over the top, 10-8 round Tony Khan.
That's when you started judging this.
Oh, I mean, what else am I going to do, Brett?
Other than judge me, yes,
exactly.
you're right.
I'm going to judge everybody today. Everyone's getting judged.
Then Jan says, "Since you're feeling might today, let's both let the world in on the truth. We've been had a discussion that the Chargers game was my last game, yet you try to backdoor the situation without answering any of my camp's calls. Shake my head, you spoiled, bruh. Holding up people for no reason with a clown emoji. Basically, the clown emoji to the owner of the football team." That's all. I mean, listen, players have power. In every line of work, there are these things called insubordination to a degree.
Yeah.
I mean, does that kind of go in that file? I mean, it might.
Yeah.
If I called my boss a clown on social media, I'm not sure I'd be doing the show.
Listen, I get, once again, Brent, he's desperate, okay? And then this is kind of the Jalen Ramsey approach. He's putting it all in. But here's the problem, man. you're biting the hand that feeds you right now, okay? Tony Khan is a big part of you getting traded, and Tony Khan is a big part of saying where you get traded, okay? They love Calais Campbell. What happened to Calais Campbell? Goes to the Ravens, and on a great team, possibly win a Super Bowl going forward now. What's to say Tony Khan's going to be like, all right, cool, you want to go pop off a little bit? Have fun in Cincinnati. Have fun in Detroit. I'm just saying, man.
By the way, what's confusing a little bit is a discussion that the Chargers game was my last game. His last game that he played in Jacksonville was against the Indianapolis Colts.
But maybe there was trade talk. I don't know.
Maybe way back against the Chargers. Well, if he said the Chargers game was his last game, well, it wasn't.
No, sure.
The Colts game was his last game. So maybe he's confused on that, or maybe that's when these discussions started to say, I'm out. Mm-hmm. And that would have been, I think, in late November or early December. I'll have to check the schedule from last year. I think it was early December, in fact. Then Tony, by the way, comes back and says, it's a new regime here, sir. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of the contributions you made here. That said, tweeting insults at me won't get you traded any faster. Only good trade compensation will do that. Please redirect your efforts into a more productive outlet.
High road all day.
That was the high road of it. And by the way, that is the way Tony has shown a lot of adoration for his players. You mentioned Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
We've never seen this before.
Yeah.
From Tony Khan toward a player, I don't think, on social media.
And you know what? And I'm gonna give that round probably like a 9-9. Like Tony Khan took the high road there. I could easily give Tony Khan the 10-9, but I want to see a third round, Brent. I want to see what happens next.
Jan says, just trade me. I don't need the speech. And once again, the finish line flag. Mm-hmm. By the way, earlier in the day, Jan said, free Jan. He's making his own T-shirts now. Tony comes back with, show me the compensation. I'm sure you're really driving up the price today, by the way.
And that's the ball game, folks. That's the ball game. And listen, do you think I enjoy sitting here going against Jan right now? Do you think I enjoy taking management side, Brent? When have I ever took management side in my entire life on this show? But to me, it's obvious, man. Okay, like
I mean, unless you just want a free ticket or a job at AEW, I don't know.
I mean, that's true too. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's really about, is actually being a wrestler for the rest of my life. It's just, once again, I know what Yannick's trying to do. Okay, it's obvious. The writing's on the wall, but you're going about it the wrong way, and you're not going about it in a very constructive way. And to me, when the smoke clears and the dust settles, he's going to come out of this looking worse than he did going into it.
And he's not going to get what he wants. I told you this before we go to a break, and we're going to keep talking about it. Love your calls, by the way, 904-362-9901. Jump in on the conversation. There's a lot to talk about today, but this is certainly the newest information in front and center. And this is something, quite frankly, I don't remember seeing before. I mean, this is Antonio Brown level stuff in terms of calling out an organization this blatantly and calling out whether it was players for Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and I think even Roethlisberger, he did it to a degree. But then going after organizations publicly like this, this is on that level. That's Antonio Brown level stuff. I don't remember. I don't think Le'Veon Bell did this kind of stuff. No. And I can't remember an organization clapping back at a player. I mean, I really cannot on social media is kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
But still, we've seen it by now, and we haven't seen it. I will say what I've said for weeks, and I continue to say it's the undertold story of this. Tony Khan is one thing, and maybe even take Tony Khan out of it. What people are missing in the recipe of this, and what Jan, I think, is missing, and maybe his camp has missed in the recipe of all this, is that, one, they don't have the power. Like, you can't go into this fight with a stick.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, because you don't have the power. And what Shad Khan, I don't believe, is backing down here. I really don't. And that's been the undertold story. If you've listened to our show, you've heard me say it. I think this is a lot more about Shad Khan and now maybe Tony Khan than people are giving credit to. They were talking Coughlin and Caldwell and Marone and the Jags culture. Well, I know Shad Khan is the owner. But Shad Khan, I think, is bowing up here just as much. The more Jan digs in, the more the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars digs in. I told you this for weeks and weeks. I don't think they'll get the compensation that they want for him. I think he'll play in Jacksonville in the fall, even though he doesn't want to, because he'd be foolish to pass up the franchise tag money. And I don't think he's going anywhere, man. He may have sealed his fate today to say, I'm not going anywhere, because who's trading for him and giving the Jags what they want?
But do you think a guy right now that's going on Twitter attacking Tony Khan, is this the guy that's going to want to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars? I said, no, I get what you're going to say. He doesn't have a choice. Well, he has a choice whether he wants to get paid or sit out and not get paid. And the way it's coming across right now, I've never been so adamant in saying, I think if Yannick Ngakoue can't find a trade partner and he's stuck in Jacksonville, I might be surprised if the guy actually plays next season.
Yeah, you might be right on that. I might lean a little bit closer to that. Now, what I just want to make clear is all along I've said he's still on the Jags in 2020. I don't think he's going elsewhere. And I think this might have solidified it today. I don't know if they're finding a trade partner for Yannick Ngakoue, and he might be stuck. And a lot of that might have to do with Tony Khan and Shad Khan saying, hey, we got the power here, and we're sticking in the sand on this one. More about it coming up. What happens now, and what would you give up? All those kind of things. I mean, is this so much personal now that it doesn't matter about value? It's more about principle even on the Jag side, which isn't always the smartest thing. But is emotion now entering the fray even on the Jag side? Has Jan put it into that kind of position here in this drama?
And listen, and this stuff matters, Brent, right? I mean, yeah, it's fun to sit there and kind of, poke fun of Tony Khan and Ngakoue go back and forth. But you know what, man? This is more bad optics on a team that does not need any more bad optics.
Absolutely. And by the way, Marquise Lee has been waived by the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll talk a little bit about that, but another receiver expected move. But it has happened. It just happened in the last half hour. So a lot of Jags news. Leonard Fournette, could he be on the block? Why I say don't trade him. And my mock draft, shock your mocks. We got it all on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A strong cold front will be moving through northeast Florida by mid-morning through the afternoon, bringing us scattered showers, strong thunderstorms, and gusting winds, as well as the potential for some large hail. Partial clearing will arrive in the evening, warming us up into the low to mid-80s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjick.
It's times like these that remind us all of how precious life is and how our love and relationships are what really matter. At Diamonds Direct, we believe this. Your love and well-being are truly our passion. That's why we've decided to temporarily close our showrooms, a decision rooted in caution and compassion. But rest assured, we are still here for you. Diamonds Direct's experts are behind the scenes helping customers 24/7, giving you access via text, live chat, email, or our special customer hotline that you can call anytime. Remote shopping options and expert guidance are always available, and our commitment to serve you is stronger than ever. Please visit diamondsdirect.com for more information or to start a remote shopping appointment. At Diamonds Direct, we're honored to be the symbol of your commitment to each other. And while we wait during this uncertain time, we encourage you to be safe, cautious, and courageous as we look forward to better days ahead. It's still your love, our passion, and nothing can change that. Not now, not ever.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So, if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Hello, I'm Chuck Barnes. At Barnes & Cohen, we're pulling out all the stops to protect your health and ours. We have the latest software that enables our staff who are at high risk to work remotely without sacrificing first-class representation. Our offices remain open. We have a sanitized conference room, but maybe your best option, meet us here in our courtyard. Barnes & Cohen will continue to serve you in the safest way possible.
Redbox gives you top entertainment when you need it most. Need a dose of family time fun that delivers laughs? Stream the home premiere of Trolls World Tour on Redbox on demand. Watch theatrical movies from the comfort of your home and enjoy early access to this much-anticipated sequel. This family-friendly film is available now, so stream Trolls World Tour with Redbox on demand on your favorite device today. Subject to applicable taxes. Additional terms at redbox.com.
These can be unsettling times, but CGC Water Treatment wants you to know that they are there for you and your family. CGC Water Treatment has 50% savings for you. Purchase a Premier Softener and save 50% off a K5, Connecticut's premier reverse osmosis system. When the shelves at the stores are empty, it's a great feeling to have purified water right at home. Call 904-694-2242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up, like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines, and the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for everything you do, and we'll always be here to help you do it. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Our friends at Arlington Toyota are here for you, and they've taken some extra steps to make sure your Arlington experience is safe and convenient. First, and this is a big one, Arlington has now extended its exchange policy to 30 days. That's 30 days you have to love your purchase or exchange it. Now that's peace of mind. They're also going to give you no payments for 90 days. That's 90 days deferred payments on all new and certified pre-owned Toyotas. You can shop over 1,000 vehicles online, and in fact, you can complete your entire purchase 100% online, including choosing your car, trade-in, and even financing. Arlington will then deliver your completely sanitized vehicle to you at your home. All departments at Arlington are open: sales, service, parts, and collision, and they've adjusted their hours to work best for you. Check it out online at arlingtontoyota.com. And if you do come in, know this: Arlington is using hospital-grade sanitizing products and following all CDC guidelines to keep you and their team safe. Find out more at arlingtontoyota.com. And most of all, stay well and know that Arlington is here to help.
It's the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and it can be your home course as well. The Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210, family owned and operated, and a fun course to play. The Golf Club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facility and player-friendly golf course design, it will be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. Become a member in 2020. For more information, call the Golf Club at Southampton at 904-287-PLAY.
These days, the whole world is on the internet 24/7, on their phones, at work, even at the dinner table. It's the internet all the time. So why, when it's time to sell your home, does your traditional agent charge you 6% to list it on the MLS to other agents instead of targeting buyers directly online? That's why Rex was born. For a fee starting at 2%, Rex sells your home where buyers are looking, online, optimized by data-driven marketing, not the MLS. To get started, visit sellwithrex.com. That's sellwithrex.com. With Rex, selling or buying a home has never been easier. Price your home, get a virtual consultation, visit online open houses and showings, all from the comfort of your home with a few clicks of a button. Want to learn more? Visit sellwithrex.com or just use your phone and call 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. License number CQ1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Jackson This Together is not just a hashtag. We believe it, and we are living it, all of us. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. These may be uncertain times, but we can still lift each other up, share a laugh, a smile, and even a shout out. If you would like to recognize someone, a healthcare worker, a truck driver, someone who works for a local restaurant, or maybe it's someone's birthday, call star 690. Leave a message and we will share it on ESPN 690. That's star 690. And let's continue to be Jackson this together.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Look, I lost more games my rookie year than I had my entire high school and college career combined. I threw 26 interceptions, but I tried to learn a lot that year. I played every game. Jim Mora never took me out. I learned some things in the fourth quarter of those blowouts about what it took to be an NFL quarterback. And the next year, we went from 3-13 to 13-3. That wouldn't have happened had I not hung in there and kind of learned the ropes as a rookie, even though we took some bumps and bruises. So that's what I tried to encourage Joe and all the NFL quarterbacks, that your rookie year is not going to be the same as your senior year.
That's Peyton Manning talking about Joe Burrow. Good advice, and maybe he'll break that interception record, right? Yeah. As he joked around about that, too, I think. So Joe Burrow, you know, I did think about this with Joe Burrow. I mean, nobody is speculating anything but Joe Burrow at number one, right? I mean, it's a slam dunk as slam dunk can be. Yep. And that happens from time to time with that first overall pick. But that's, you know, if you go back to the 16 draft, it was like Wentz and Goff, remember? Mm-hmm. And so you sometimes, you know, you can go all the way back to Leaf and Manning. But this is just, I mean, it would be the stunner of stunners if for some reason Cincinnati went in a different direction. I mean, I think they've already even had like, kind of, you know, you get that sense of the preliminary conversations, and you know, those FaceTime videos are more like, what number do you want, Joe?
Fanatics better have like 100,000 Joe Burrow jerseys already in their warehouse ready to sell out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's going to happen. Well, it's a foregone conclusion.
If you have a Jaguars jersey, well, we feel bad for you.
Man.
Just get it blank.
Man.
Just get it for the year.
Just get it. I mean, I would say get a kicker, like, you know, get like Lambo or somebody, but
yeah, that might not be safe.
Times are tough these days, you know? Like, it's hard to try to buy stock in somebody.
Go retro and get number 92, Austin Lane.
Now we're talking,
He's going to be here a while.
Sell them like hotcakes, baby. To $25 eBay. Get it right now.
Oh, my gosh. But here's the thing, man. Why am I, you know, usually this stuff, right? When you have a Yannick and Ngakoue situation the way it is with Tony Khan right now, and by this is new today with Tony Khan going back and forth. And the latest tweet from Jan is showing somebody coming off the top ropes, a wrestling analogy.
AJ Styles, missing. For your information.
Oh, thank you very much. But that's a WWE reference. Yeah. Maybe a shot at Tony Khan's AEW. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like 7th grade stuff a little bit. You know, this can get real petty on social media, that's why it's the wrong place to do it. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. I think when you have these situations, right? Le'Veon Bell sits out a year, says never coming back to Pittsburgh, doesn't happen. Antonio Brown, Jalen Ramsey situation. Most times, players get what they want, they're out of here. Mm-hmm. I've been wrong on these things. You know, I thought Nick Foles was going to be around in the fall. They were able to get something for him. I have said I think Jan's going to be here, and I kind of still feel he's going to be here, man. I don't think this is this expedites him getting out of Jacksonville. I think it actually hurts him getting out of Jacksonville. I think there was a chance he could move on draft day or around the draft this weekend. And now I just think there'll be a major red flag for some of these teams. And on top of that, I already wondered if anybody would give what the Jags wanted. Now, what you're saying is what the Jags wanted was 2 first-round picks. I understand that was pie in the sky. We've talked about that a lot. Could it be a player and a third-rounder? Could it be a first and a third-rounder? Could it be 2 seconds that the Jags would settle for? Maybe. But they're not going to settle in this instance. They don't have to. They have a guy that's made about $4 million in his career. They're willing to write him a check to play for $17.8. In my view, before today, is Jan would be absolutely crazy to not play in the fall for the Jacksonville Jaguars. When he bet on himself for $2 million, why wouldn't you play for $18 million? It doesn't make sense not to. And so that's why I was pretty firm on the Jags would not get what they wanted, and Jan would be stuck playing. Well, you brought up something before the break. I'll come with you a little bit. As it stands right now, there's plenty of time to mend whatever fences, and it's still in the best interest of Jan to play in the fall, even if it was on the tag, because then he could go get his big deal next year. I do wonder a little bit about that now. Now they are backing each other into such a corner that I don't think the Jags are going to move him. because I think that's what he wants. And now this has become personal and emotional, even for maybe Shad Khan, who probably doesn't like to bring that into the business side of things. And I think Jan, it's so emotional and so principle-laden that he's going to be willing to give up paychecks over $1 million a week to not play, maybe until that accrued year, so he could still get paid a handful of $1 million and play and get the accrued year. We might be back to that. So pride is in the way here on both sides potentially. First of all, with Jan, and he's got a lot of it, principle is in the way here, which I respect to a degree. But now emotion's starting to take over. And emotion in the middle of all this is a bad thing, usually. Maybe for both sides, but definitely for one side or another.
Listen, I've said it before on this show, and pride will make you do crazy things. I'm the first one to admit to that, okay? And I guess it all comes down to your principles and how you grew up and what you believe in. And I think Yannick Ngakoue is a very prideful individual. So will he forego $18 million just to try to stay good in the light of his own psyche and just try to come across as a guy that didn't get punked? Absolutely. I think he wholeheartedly will do that. Now, if you ask 99% of the people out there, what would they do? They would say, I'm definitely playing for $18 million. You crazy? But Jan's that 1%, man. I think Jan's that outlier where if he has to prove a point, he's going to prove a point. So if he is indeed on the Jaguars, I would not be surprised if he sits out, for a longevity time, if not the entire season. When we think back to the players speaking out and things, I mean, the two guys that stick out to me, Brent, right? Because you had Melvin Gordon last year, went through his whole contract thing. What happened, though? He stayed quiet. Didn't get what he wanted. One could say that Melvin Gordon made a huge mistake. He's in Denver now, got a new contract. It is what it is. Le'Veon Bell with Pittsburgh, kind of the same thing, right? Where all things considered, he was kind of the trendsetter. He was kind of the guy that first started to do this whole thing, and everyone's like, wow, Le'Veon Bell is going to sit out this season? He's going to forego that contract? He's crazy. Well, he did it. He remained quiet. One could say that maybe he lost some money. He obviously made up for that money with a Jets contract, so that's been done before too. But when I think of Yannick Ngakoue right now, what's transpiring, I think of two characters. I think of Antonio Brown, and I think of Jalen Ramsey. Antonio Brown set the precedent of how to handle these negotiations, right? He basically burned everything behind him, lit the match, flicked it, and was like, you know what? I'm out of here. What's up, Raiders? And Brent keeps saying, well, it's going to hurt Yannick Ngakoue's stock with every team in the NFL. That's fine, man, because all it takes is one team. All it took for Antonio Brown was the Oakland Raiders. All it took for Antonio Brown was John Gruden to come out and say, oh, man, we love you over here, man. Come over here. We got a pretty good offense. I'm an offensive-minded guy. I want Antonio Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So he goes to Oakland. We all know what happens there. It was absolute chaos, an absolute crap show. He ends up leaving Oakland. But what happened, Brent? Another team stepped up. When 30 teams or 31 teams said, no, after what happened in Oakland, why would we even think about taking Antonio Brown? Well, here comes the New England Patriots. Here comes Bill Belichick. Here comes Tom Brady. All it took was one. But here's my point. And then I compare it to Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, we've been through it. I don't have to repeat it, Brent. Jaguars fans don't want to hear it again. But the whole back issue, the whole going on these podcasts, going on these interviews, backhanding the organization, all this stuff. Well, Jalen Ramsey got what he wanted. Here's the difference between Jalen Ramsey, Antonio Brown, and Yannick Ngakoue. Antonio Brown at the time was a top 5 wide receiver.
Maybe the best.
Exactly. Jalen Ramsey, at the time and still now, by far a top 3 cornerback. You may disagree with me because you guys are emotional towards him, but he's a top 3 cornerback.
Maybe the best.
Yannick Ngakoue, not top 5. Okay? Yannick Ngakoue, maybe top 10. And right now, he finds himself in a market that does not value the defensive end position. Not Yannick Ngakoue's fault, just the way the market is right now. Clowney's looking for a paycheck. Yannick Ngakoue's looking for a paycheck. There is no market right now for edge rushers. And that's not Jan's fault, like I just said. But that's the difference, Brent. You have to ask yourself, does the distraction outweigh the talent? For Jalen Ramsey, it did. For Antonio Brown, it did. For Yannick Ngakoue right now, does it? I think you can go back and forth with that one.
And it's a bigger investment, at least right now. See, the Rams, well, they made a huge investment. First-round picks in 2 years because they got the 5th-year option. And eventually, I think they'll give a long-term deal. So that's a major investment, of course, on their part. Antonio Brown wasn't like that. They didn't have to sign Antonio Brown for a 5-year thing for $100 million. This was like a one-off deal to get Tom Brady and Bill Belichick another Super Bowl and see if it worked. And obviously, it didn't. Now, the Raiders might have thought differently if they could make it work.
But the Raiders paid him what he got in Pittsburgh, then added the price and then paid him more.
They actually did. But even that was minimal. It wasn't lengthy. It was right. It was like a 2-year thing more so than it was, I believe.
Well, but in retrospect, if he would have actually played out that contract, he would have made an extra $30 million with the Raiders than he did with the Steelers.
They made the bigger mistake. Obviously, the Patriots could kind of get out from underneath it a lot quicker. This is a big investment for a team, draft pick-wise, and eventually if you trade for him, that means you're going to want him there 4 or 5 years as a pass rusher, as a young pass rusher. So that's what's a little bit different here. Also, I don't disagree with you. I think you only need one dance partner. There were not 3 teams that were willing to give up 2 first-round picks and a 4th for Jalen Ramsey. There was one. That was it. I don't know how many teams were in on the Jan sweepstakes to begin with, because you do have to have some dollars available, and you have to have draft capital, and you have a need. Like, how many times have we said, could the Washington Redskins be in play with the Jags on a trade? Well, the thing about that doesn't make sense is they really don't have a need. Why do they have to move from 2 when they can go get Chase Young, who won't cost them $100 million? And they already have Ryan Kerrigan, and they have Montez Sweat. So why you don't need to. So the teams that were interested in Jan, maybe the Eagles, maybe the Giants, maybe even the Jets, maybe Seattle. Well, let's just take those 4 teams, and there might be more. I would assume there would be more. But they have to have the capital, and they have to have the money, and they have to have the positional need to invest in that spot. Well, now you take those 4 teams. Are they willing to put up with this? And did you just lose 2 of them? So now there's only 2, but there still could be 2.
Yeah.
So my point is, he might have today shrunk his available places to go. And I don't know by how many. We don't know. Because, somebody on social media says, well, whatever, man. People don't care about this BS. And now they'll just get them for a 2nd round instead of a 1st. I say, I think you're missing the point. I think what this does is hold the Jags even more firm with what they want in return. They don't want to give this guy what he wants. They want what they want in return. Again, you have to understand that about Jalen Ramsey. The Jaguars did not give what Ramsey wanted to give because they were like, okay, fine. They gave Ramsey his way because they got what they wanted, and maybe then some. They got 2 first-round picks and a 4th. So they're not going to lower the price just because Jan's on Twitter. They're actually going to, in my opinion, dig in even deeper on this. So this just made it harder for Jan to get out of Jacksonville, in my opinion. And I don't think he's going to get out. I really don't. I think the phone is ringing, and less people are saying, hey, we'll give you this, but do you want to get them off your hands? We'll give you now this, which is less compensation than Shad Khan, Dave Caldwell, and the Jacksonville Jaguars organization wants, including Tony Khan, in my opinion. So I just don't think it's going to happen.
Here's where my head's at, though, Brent. All right, and I go back to the giant life-size cutout of me with my bulbous head over there. And for the longest of times, it said Payan. All right, I was the captain of the Payan bandwagon. And I campaigned for that the entire time last year. Obviously, it didn't come to fruition. I changed it. And what did I put it to, Brent? What does that quote say up there?
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. And I put that quote on that quote bubble on my giant head when it turns out that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to franchise tag Yannick Ngakoue and not pay him. Now, the reason why I said good luck with that was because what's happening right now. I am worried about this thing is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I think we pretty much agree right now that Yannick Ngakoue isn't going anywhere. And I'm with you on that one. The question remains, though, and the question that needs to be asked is, well, how bad can it get now? Okay? Because you have a guy who's not happy with how things are in Jacksonville. You have a guy now who's going on Twitter and attacking the front office, not, talking behind the scenes, not texting, not calling, going on social media where you, the entire world can see, and you're putting out your dirty laundry there. What's going to happen when we're in training camp? What's going to happen when we're going through this season? And I'm the last person to say, it's not going to be a distraction for the locker room. I was the first one to say that Jalen Ramsey doing his whole stuff, the locker room didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Even when it came to the back thing, the locker room was fine. And I think that we saw the locker room responded well on those games that he was gone. But to me, this is a different animal. To me, this can get even more of a distraction. This can create more of a controversy, more of a turmoil in training camp than even Jalen Ramsey could ever imagine. So my question to you is, how bad is this going to get down the road now?
Well, I think the weekend and next week will be interesting. Again, I don't think he's moving. Maybe he does, and then it's done. That's fine. But if he doesn't move, which I don't think it's happening, if you're new to the show, what I've said countless occasions, there are 3 milestone dates in my opinion. The draft being one of them. Labor Day weekend right before the start of the season when a team panics and wants to be good and thinks they're missing a piece or got an injury in camp or something like that. That's milestone 2. And then the trade deadline is milestone 3. And that's when I think the actual leverage shifts over to Jan during the trade deadline and says, okay, we just got to get him out of here now because we know we're not re-signing him. Now, there's a caveat to that, and I've said this for a long time. The Jags might be smart if they want to play super hardball here, is to franchise tag this year for $18 million. And let's just throw the number out there because I don't know what it is, but it's a lot more. Let's just say the franchise tag for year 2 is $26 million. So what? They got plenty of it. And I would, again, I did this as an exhibition of if you want to question me and I'm going to go negotiate with you and I want to play hardball, well, I've got power to do that next year, too.
But, Brent,
I could do it.
But what kind of message is this sending to the whole team, though?
Well, you got to be careful a lot of those things.
This is chaotic, though, Brent. Like, and this is my point, man. I'm tired. And listen, this is fun. This is great radio. Like, this makes our job very easy, correct? But on the outside looking in, man, I'm tired of turning on ESPN, and I'm tired of seeing the Jaguars in a bad light. This right here, this Yannick stuff does not put the Jaguars in a good light. And I get it. It's not the Jaguars' fault even, possibly. All right? Like, this is more Yannick and Ngakoue than it is the Jaguars. But guess what, man? He's still a member of the team. And I still got to sit through talking heads in the national media saying, oh, what's going on in Jacksonville now? What's going on in Jacksonville? And maybe I shouldn't care so much of what they think. But once again, I just drive home the point. I want to read about Gardner Minshew, man. I want to read about optimism. I want to read about these draft picks coming up. Who are the Jaguars going to take? The excitement revolving around that. But now here we are on a Monday talking about Yannick and Ngakoue going after the front office, man. I'm tired of bad optics.
Yeah, I guess I'm not. I don't.
Well, I mean, sure, okay.
I don't. I guess I would be willing to risk the bad optics in this sense if you're going to back me in the corner. That's the way I think. Can I be petty like that? Yeah. But you know what? At least for the time being, I told you emotion was into it now. And so if emotion's into it, I'm not budging. If I'm the Jags, bad optics or not, I'm not. By the way, I put out this about an hour ago. Who has handled this situation worse? Jan and his camp or the Jags? Over 1,000 votes so far.
Oh, it's going to be obvious, I think.
84% Jan in his camp. I know it's coming off a day where Jan doesn't look great in this, and Tony Khan looks a little bit better. But in this instance right now, that has shifted, right? Yeah. This was a franchise and a fan base that was on Jan's side all this time. So he got what he wanted if he wanted to see the shift.
And listen,
but I'm not sure he wanted to see it in this way. I don't think this was the way to go about getting it.
No, and listen, I've been the biggest Jan supporter ever, man. Okay? Like, I want to see that guy get paid. I think he's a hell of a player. And what you have here, Brent, is you have a guy who believed in himself, who rolled the dice, and it paid off for him. But the problem is that the system failed him, okay? For whatever reason, the system said, you know what? We're not going to pay defensive ends this year. Once again, not Yannick and Ngakoue's fault. It just is what it is. And sometimes life's not fair, and sometimes the game of football is not fair. But you have no right to go after the front office, man, because it does you no favors whatsoever.
One more thing here, okay? And then we'll let this go for a little bit. Is this Jan going rogue? Is this his whole camp? Is he getting bad advice from his agent, for his representation? And does this change what the Jags could do early in the draft from an edge rushing standpoint or not? You have to weigh that as we are in draft week. It's coming up next. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
There are moments in the history of your team.
With the 4th pick, 42nd pick, with the 12th pick.
That change everything.
Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott,
Brett Favre,
Von Miller,
Russell Wilson,
Rob Gronkowski.
What will this year bring? The 2020 NFL Draft.
NFL Draft coverage begins next Thursday at 7 on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We've always had villains to face.
Bad guys to take down.
But you
are the most horrible of all.
We're not here because we have to be.
We're here because we've had enough of you.
We all have the power to do something.
To stand up to cancer.
Every single one of us is mortal.
But inside of us, we're all heroes.
So stand up with us.
Stand up to fight.
Stand up to cancer. Visit standuptocancer.org to learn more.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Spinks Tax and Accounting, Diorenzo Psychology, Miracle Ear, Bad Boys Bail Bonds, In-N-Out Tax Service, Fabian Obstetrics. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
These can be unsettling times, but CGC Water Treatment wants you to know that they are there for you and your family. CGC Water Treatment has 50% savings for you. Purchase a Premier Softener and save 50% off a K5, Connecticut's premier reverse osmosis system. When the shelves at the stores are empty, it's a great feeling to have purified water right at home. Call 904-694-2242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
An ex-athlete is waiting to be welcomed into a loving home. There's a greater need to place ex-racing greyhounds into permanent homes than at any point in recent history as a result of greyhound racetrack closings across the country. April is National Adopt a Greyhound Month and the perfect time to adopt a gentle companion into your home. Thousands of greyhounds are being cared for by adoption groups now. Please help ensure that all these wonderful dogs find homes by visiting thegreyhoundproject.org for information on adoption in your area.
Our normal way of life has been changing quickly due to coronavirus. New rules to follow, and basically all sports have been put on hold. Heck, you might even be working from home. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you're not in the car from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m., check in on Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Hi, I'm Mike Mills from REM, and this is Action Sports Jacks.
Leonard Fournette last week was making a pitch for Cam Newton. Not a great look. I can't believe that at that point it's so much harm to where the Jags are going to say, you know what, we got to get rid of him. Jacksonville fully well knows that they have no chance next year, that they're already mailing this in. If I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars and a fan, I'm loving this right now because you're getting rid of a good player. This is a win-win situation. The Jags are going to be a worse team because of this and can land the overall #1 pick next year and get Trevor Lawrence. And Leonard Fournette finally gets to go to a place that doesn't suck.
Easy, Peter Burns.
Peter Burns.
From SEC Network. More on the Leonard stuff coming up, of course. Why I actually think the Jags, this is coming a little later, why I think the Jaguars shouldn't trade Leonard Fournette. Mm-hmm. Even though Adam Schefter came out this weekend and said he was on the trade block. Remember, we've been talking for weeks how much he's the one guy that still has trade value. And talked a lot about Leonard on Friday, even with the Cam Newton stuff once again, that blew up. Keep in mind, though, you got to remember this. The Cam Newton might have ignited more phone calls in the last few days, but this has been a situation that no doubt the Jags have been exploring for weeks. You know, we had Mark Long on, and that's how we brought up the idea of could he have trade value. Well, Mark was really hard on Leonard. That was one side of the story. The other part was he thought that he had played his last down, and Mark might be right. You know, he was onto something because I think there were talks, at least, hey, floated out there and said, hey, let's see if we can get something else. This guy's in his final year. We're not going to pick up his fifth-year option. We're going to lose him. Let's get something in return if we can. But I'll tell you why that might not be the smartest move for the Jags, even though it might make sense from a business standpoint, at least my thought on that. I've got another Jan thought here before we let this go for at least now. And again, you're always invited to the conversation, 904-362-9901 or *690. Yannick and Ngakoue and Tony Khan back and forth on social media today. The biggest story of the afternoon here in Jacksonville and maybe even across the country. Something we have not seen. I can't remember seeing anything like this. Now, I'm not in tune with every team and every professional sport, but this is very unique. It's very unusual to see something like this. If it has happened before, it hasn't happened very often. And check out the tweets from Jan and Tony Khan if you're on Twitter. It was an incredible back and forth. That's what we've been talking about here at the start of the show on a Monday during draft week. What does it mean for Yannick and Ngakoue? But what I want to ask, and somebody did ask this, he needs to fire his agent, they said. How much do you think this is Jan going rogue and kind of just so fed up that, listen, if I'm your agent, I can't control everything you do. I mean, I can advise you, but I can't control what you do. Or how much do you think this is actually their plan? This, we've talked multiple times. This is their last-ditch effort to try to get out. This is what they're going to do. Well, this takes it to a new level, man. Would anybody advise Jan to do this when across the board, here today on a Monday, I'd say mostly across the board, most people are saying, what is he doing? This doesn't make sense. Because if that's the advice of the camp, it doesn't seem like it's good advice. Maybe the end game shows genius in it. And we gave a lot of credit to their camp a few weeks back to start free agency when they did kind of go out there publicly and say, I want out. We thought that was a really good one. I'm not so sure I believe this has anything good for Yannick and Ngakoue. In fact, I think it's going to really hurt him in terms of getting out of Jacksonville in the next few days and maybe even in the next few months. But is he being advised to do it?
No, I think this is more of an emotional standpoint from Yannick and Ngakoue than it is advice from his camp, right? Because last week you can't go on ESPN with a pretty calm, cool demeanor, say that, you're excited to go to a new team, a winning culture, you're excited to work in a new city, work with charities and things like that. You wish everybody's doing great through the COVID-19 thing, and you come across, in my opinion, as a pretty thoughtful and provoking guy. And then this week, it's the exact opposite, and it's a 180. And now we're calling out people on Twitter. It's just you can't do 180s like that, man. You have to pick a lane and stay with it. So to me, this is more of just Yannick and Ngakoue knowing that we're getting down to 0 hour right now, and that we have to literally unload every single bolt in the chamber to try to make a move here. And I think this is more Yannick and Ngakoue than it is with anything. Do you think Yannick and Ngakoue's agent was like, hey, go out to Tony Khan. Hey, remember that thing against the Chargers? Bring that up. That's going to be great. Yeah, I can't see that happening.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the way they would advise it. I think there are ways to play this. Do I think Jalen's agent was heavily involved in the way that transpired? Absolutely.
And it worked.
I think some of these things, the representation for Jan has been involved with, and strategically, this one, if it was a bad move. And maybe, again, there's genius in it that I'm not seeing. But we're all missing it today. And I just don't think he did that. I think this is just the sign of frustration. The reality is the market has been not good. And by the way, if you're a team, and what I just said about that market, right? Money available, investments available, need a pass rusher. Well, guess who just moved to the top of my list over Yannick and Ngakoue? Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
If it wasn't before, we had said we'll take Jan.
I hear you.
You know, and both we think, you're going to be similar investments. Well, first of all, it doesn't cost you trade capital to get Clowney.
Correct.
Because he's a free agent if you want to wheel and deal. But I think he just nudged ahead of Yannick and Ngakoue based on today alone. He's the one that remained quiet. And it just does seem like so. I know there are examples, there's things that play out in the public eye of guys getting what they want. Jalen, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. But it does seem like there's a lot of guys that also can get what they want without doing this.
No, I hear you, man. I'm just saying from Clowney's standpoint, though, you can't have 3.5 sacks last season and make a lot of noise.
That's the red flag. Yeah, that's true. Good point.
It is. What are you going to say? Sign me, give me $20 million because I had 3.5 sacks last year? No, you can't do that. Now, and listen, I get that number is a little understated because he did do some good things for the Seahawks, right? He was a big part of that playoff push. I understand that. So Clowney is still a great player. Obviously, he comes out looking like the better person right now, so I agree with you with that. You put age, injuries up there for Clowney a little bit, but no, I wholeheartedly agree with you, Brent, where right now, if you're Clowney's camp, you're just like, all right, I know it sucks right now, The market sucks, and we haven't got paid yet, and probably taking a pay cut actually, but just mind the course.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how this whole Jacksonville Jaguars Yannick Ngakoue thing plays out, because right now we're in smooth waters. Let's keep going there.
I think if Jan had stayed quiet, he would have a ticket out of town already, maybe, and definitely by the weekend. I do. I think if he stayed quiet, I don't. If he turns it this way again, because he brought Shad's emotions into it, in my opinion, Tony Khan's emotions into it, he wouldn't have done that. I just don't. I think he would have been able to get out of here going about it differently. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I think he would have. Let's just say this: he would have had a way better chance. And I don't think it's happening now. That's why this has been not played out well. I mean, it's not working.
Yeah. Well, and listen, did Shad Khan have an ego? You're damn right he does, because he's a billionaire. You have to have an ego to be successful, okay? And, did Shad Khan kind of feel slighted a little bit, and that's why this process is taking so long? Possibly. But in my eyes, you don't ask anything less than a first-round pick for Yannick Ngakoue. Okay, like it's simple as that. You don't take a third-round pick. You don't take a second-round pick. Because if you're Shad Khan, if you're Dave Caldwell, you see that, you know what? We drafted Yannick Ngakoue in the third round. He came in. He did special things for us. He was a hard worker. Really, overachieved as far as we're all concerned. So he did great in the Jaguars uniform while he was here. You want to get a return back on that investment. And you want to get some profit back on that investment. So, no, you don't ask for a third-round pick. You don't ask even for a second-round pick. You ask for a first-round pick. So I think regardless of what Yannick Ngakoue has done to the front office, I just think the fact that the Jaguars probably haven't been offered a first-round draft pick yet kind of sets that, you know what, regardless of what he's doing right now, we haven't got what we wanted for him, so he's staying here until further notice.
And by the way, the phones were not ringing off the hook from everything I can gather. Mm-hmm. They haven't been. And obviously, there's clear indication from Jan he feels that way too, because that's where the frustration has reached a boiling point. That, and he made it obvious, the communication, right? But how did we get to the point where they don't want to communicate back and forth? Is it not a good spot to be communicating? Who knows? It just looks like it's being totally misplayed right now because it's not working. Yeah. That's my evidence. It's not working, and you're feeding into the emotion of Shad Khan, where few people have tapped into.
Well, and let's be honest, though, with communication.
At least publicly.
So with the whole communication part, back in with supposedly that Chargers game, there wasn't communication. Well, that was still I think. Was Coughlin gone then or not? Was Coughlin still
right around the time Coughlin would have been gone? Coughlin might have gone a week later.
Okay, so obviously with Coughlin around, communication was different than it is now. And like Tony Khan even said in his tweet, there's a new regime right now. There's a new culture being built. So with that being said, it's different. So why not give it some time instead of just attacking everybody? See how it plays out, Jan.
That's what I said a long time ago on this. I mean, once Coughlin move was made, and I understand the point was, the damage had been done, but they refreshed. Maybe if they had brought totally different bodies in here, maybe that would have helped. But nothing's helping right now. Hey, we'll get to the phone lines when we come back, plus a little Leonard Fournette. We've got Shock Your Mocks. We got my mock, which you're shocked by.
I'm going to shock your mock for sure.
Yeah, we got a bunch going on here on ESPN 690.
Hello?
Hey, boss.
Why are you calling me?
Well, I was gonna come over, but I thought I should be practicing social distancing.
Oh, that's responsible of you.
Thanks. So I'm calling because I want to read you this new article in the Crooks of Us newsletter.
If it's about Safe Touch security, I don't want to hear it.
Boss, you want to hear this. The headline reads, Safer at Home with Safe Touch Security.
Safer at home with Safe Touch?
Yeah. It says, with people staying home more than ever these days, Safe Touch Security is the answer for peace of mind at home.
Yeah, the guaranteed response time, the two-way communicator, the video monitoring.
Yeah, and more.
Great. So what you're telling me is, whether they're home or not, the Crooks of Us motto is stronger than ever. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
It's written in stone, boss.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best 4G LTE networks, same as the big carriers, but just for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, saving you up to half the cost of the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, half the cost. Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Pros. Lowe's stores are here to help keep your business moving forward so you can get the things you need
like plumbing and electrical supplies. Plus, we have the replacement appliances for any properties you manage, because we know you're still making repairs to keep people's homes running smoothly at this important time. From our convenient curbside loading to job site delivery, you can count on us every day. We're pro-ready and here for you.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Brent Martineau. You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Fournette presents some challenges because it's not the production. He's a good player. He will have a market. Those talks will intensify in the coming days leading up to the draft. But there are some character concerns. He's had some issues with coaches there in Jacksonville. So I'm told from people who've worked with him, if you go into a new locker room, there could be some problems potentially. But he should have a home.
That's Jeremy Fowler from ESPN on Leonard Fournette. And I think the character concerns stem mostly from 2018. Obviously, Mark Long, who we had on the program 3 weeks ago, doubled down on Fournette and the coaches not liking him. I'll give credit to Mark on that, how accurate that is, and he's really been firm on it. I haven't heard as much, but hey, we all cover the team in different ways and different sources and different people, and Mark's been really adamant about that part of it. I've been more of a defender of Fournette in terms of how he kind of changed last year. So to each his own, kind of like these mock drafts, kind of like the draft, kind of like players in general. It's kind of the beauty in the eye of the beholder, I guess.
Yeah.
I do think there's mixed feelings down there in that building about Fournette. Absolutely. And if he's gone, is it the worst thing in the world? No. But how much the character concerns play a role and how much you have to be cautious of that as another team, I think are debatable. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let's get to the callers right now. Finish up the Yannick and Ngakoue thoughts, at least for now. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Sakib joins us. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Welcome to Draft Week, Sakib. And hope you don't have a 91 jersey, or hope you do. He might be here for another year.
No, I still have my Austin Lane jersey.
Baby. He's going
nowhere. I know he's never leaving. I know he will never get traded.
You better believe
I'm
it,
good
man.
with that.
I'm in it for
I
the
mean,
long
I
haul
wouldn't
here.
even take a first-round pick. I wouldn't take a first, second, third, fifth for Austin Lane.
That's what I'm saying, man. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
I would do it right now. I'll do the show solo.
Come on, man.
The fact that we still have a show for your mock draft today.
If other radio station came in and said, we'll give you this much money, I would say deny it.
Is this your agent?
I'm Austin Lane's agent right now.
Might be.
Hey, listen.
Ain't gonna franchise tag me.
Yeah. Or $17 million, I would. Hey, let me ask you guys this. This is when you attack somebody and pretty much their family, when you go after the owner's son, doesn't that give you more ammo as an owner to say, you know what, this guy is way too much problems. We need to get rid of him. Because when you go after saying what he said about with Tony, and Tony was trying to calm him down on Twitter, and he's still going after Tony. And as the owner, Shad, he needs to say, you know what, enough is enough, bro. I'm not going to have that on my – you are so good. We all love Jan. We all wanted Jan to get paid and stay here for the rest of his career. But when you start doing what you're doing, I'm tired, bro. Like, I'm tired of losing. Yes, I am. But, man, come on, bro. Like, enough is enough. You want to get the heck out of my city? Stop doing what you're doing, bro, and just get traded. And then you can talk. After you get traded, say whatever you want to say. Just get, let me get what I want for you, and then you can go and talk whatever you want after you get traded. That's all I'm saying is talk after you get traded.
Sakib, thanks for the call, man. Be well. Have a good draft week. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos here on a Monday. Hope everybody's doing well and healthy and hanging out with the families. Cabin fever. Maybe that's what got you on the cabin fever.
I don't know,
a new
man.
level. But listen, I think what Sakib is saying is partly true. Jalen Ramsey hasn't really stopped talking since he left. I mean, it's a jab here, a jab there. So he's got a good point.
Yeah.
What his first part of that, and wouldn't that make you want to trade him more? I think, again, it's worth repeating. What Jan has now done, at least if I'm doing the negotiation, I'm not the smartest guy in the world and I'm not the billionaire, right? And I don't own an organization. But you stoked my emotions. You now turned your principal play into an emotional play, which is now turning me into an emotional negotiator and also a principle-laden negotiator. And that principle and emotion in my part says, screw you, Jan. You ain't getting what you want. And you know what? We're not going to be that good this year anyway. I got the tag on you. I've got all the power right now. And you think I'm going to give what you want? No way. Unless I get exactly what I want. Again, that goes back to the Jalen stuff. But right now, we know they're not getting exactly what they want. Exactly what they want would be 2 first-rounders. Now, that ain't happening. So I disagree with Sakib in saying this is only going to help get him out of here. I don't think so. Again, I think he would have had a better chance if he had stayed quiet. I think now he's done something that few people that we have been able to do to Shad Khan. I think he's, or at least I shouldn't say visibly because he's not publicly out there. At least the Khan family showed a little emotion today. I think that's fair enough to say on social media. And I think once you start stoking the emotions of a guy in power, well, you're in trouble. You're not going to get what you want.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen. Just like Yannick Ngakoue is prideful, so is the Khan family, right? So once you attack that pride and once you go after somebody, and let's keep in mind here, like, I don't know this. I think Tony Khan is one of the guys in that front office that actually has the players' backs 9 times out of 10. Okay, like I've never seen Tony Khan go on Twitter and criticize somebody. All right, like almost to the point where it's almost like, man, say something bad about somebody, Tony. You know. So with that being said, I think Tony Khan has done nothing but by the book in terms of how to treat players. Now, with Yannick Ngakoue calling him out and everything, does it hurt Yannick Ngakoue's staff in the eyes of the Jaguars? Maybe. Does it hurt his stock? Sure, but here's the thing, Brent. You don't win Super Bowls and you don't turn teams around with emotion, especially from the front office, okay? The last thing I want right now is for Shad Khan and Tony Khan to be like, oh, well, you know what? He went after me on Twitter, so now the price just went up. Like, you know, it's going to be a first rounder and a second rounder to get him out of here. Like, I don't want to see that because it's one thing for a player to bring emotion to the table and try to get out of the organization. Fine. We've seen that works before. It happens all the time in the NFL. Welcome to the modern era NFL player. But I don't want to see an organization, I don't want to see a front office bring emotion into it and try to hold a grudge against somebody just to try to prove a point because you do not win football like that.
And I got a text from somebody, and I think they're right, but I really feel like I've been saying this for a month. The Jags and Shad Khan have to be really careful. I think the NFL in general has to be really careful to give into these kind of things on social media for players. I think that, do you think at some point last year the NFL kind of got together? Now, this would be collusion, but the whispers of, hey, don't touch Antonio Brown. I mean, the guy's not going to dictate to the NFL, to the Shield, what he's going to do. You know, he's not going to come up. If he sets this trend, we're in trouble as a league. And I think right now, Yannick Ngakoue might be following on that. In a smaller circle, I really think Shad Khan has been of the mindset all along. I don't know if I want this to happen in my organization twice in 6 months, before even today's stuff. But where a guy says, I want out, and I get him out of here. I think it's a dangerous precedent to say, again, unless you get everything you want in return, well, then you can make some sense of it. But I do think that's something we've been talking about for a month, and that's kind of what I've said is Shad Khan's more heavily involved in this than people think because he's aware of that, I believe. He has to be aware of that. And now you add the emotional part in this and the sticking in the sand maybe even further than he's ever been before. It's just not. I don't think it's a good recipe for Jan. I really don't.
No. I hear you, man. But what you said it, Brent. The emotion part from Shad Khan. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, he might not be. I'm assuming that brings an emotion in.
Yeah, I want to hear that cooler heads prevail. Okay,
yeah, but I'm petty.
No, that's fine, man. But be petty and see where it gets you. Because being petty will not win you. I'll guarantee you right now, if you be petty and you're an NFL owner, you will not win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, probably not.
It's going to backfire in your face, and that's what I'm trying to prove.
It's not getting you on very far right now.
But guess what, man? This is player versus upper management. Okay, it's one thing for a player to do this. It's one thing for an employee to do it. The guy that runs the company, you want the guy that runs the company to be petty? Absolutely not. You cannot be successful like that. I guarantee, and Shad Khan knows this, to be successful in business, man, you can't be the emotional guy, you can't be the train wreck, and you can't hold grudges, and you can't be petty. Okay? You have to have a cool head, you have to have a calm head, and it will prevail. I'm pretty sure Shad Khan realizes that. I hope he realizes that. I hope that he heeds my warning, is all I'm saying. Because if you start bringing ego into this, and if you start bringing the direct emotion to it, man, it doesn't end well, okay?
It's a fascinating thing, and Kuz brought this up. We're going to get into it a little bit later because I've got to give Jan a little rest for now because of Fournette and some other things, but we'll get back to it. And Kuz brought this up today after the Last Dance last night. If you're watching, so many people did, I'm sure.
So good.
Is Jan the Scottie Pippen of the Last Dance of 97 versus 2020 Jags? You know, I mean, is there a correlation there from dollars, but also the actual positioning? Yeah, I think more so than the dollars, I think it's the positioning because Jan's going to get paid, some way or another. Jan's going to get paid $18 million, but it kind of feels a little bit like as we were introduced to that Pippen stuff, do you have a little bit of is it relative at all to that situation? Now, the other thing is this. The Bulls were trying to win one more time.
Right.
The Jags are not in a situation where they're going to raise a Lombardi trophy next year.
I would even say when I first brought it up this morning, this Tony Khan stuff hadn't even happened, but that almost like furthered that. There might be some similarities.
Yeah, because of the Krause and Krause and Pippen, obviously in that second episode, if you've seen it, I'm assuming you have, became a very big thing. Well, this just elevated to that status.
But here's the problem, though. Scottie Pippen signed the contract. Okay,
he did.
His agent and Scottie Pippen said, you know what? Give me that 8 or 10 year deal, whatever it was. Give me the worst contract in seven. Give me the worst 7-year deal in NBA history. I will sign on the dotted line in front of management and say, you know what? I agree to this contract. What did Yannick and Ngakoue do? Yannick and Ngakoue said, I'm not signing any contract. I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to see how this plays out. I'm going to go out there, risk injury, have a decent season, go into the offseason, and hopefully get a deal. And that deal has not transpired. So to me, that's why it's different. Because Scottie took the bad deal. Yannick and Ngakoue believed in himself. Scottie Pippen didn't believe in himself. Scottie Pippen took the money.
Screw it. I'll say it right now. I thought I was going to wait for a little bit later, but since we're on it, and that's a very good thought by you, but I would come back with this. And this is something I've said about this Jan situation. He did it too early. He did it last August when he had no leverage. The organization had all the leverage. Much like when Scottie Pippen did it, he really didn't have a ton of leverage because he had this contract in front of him that he'd already signed.
But why? My point is, why sign the contract?
Yeah, well, that's a different animal.
I'm Scottie Pippen. Yeah. No.
I'm just saying their leverage is about the same, though. When 97 for Pippen, you had to get somebody to rip up the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last year when this all started for Yannick and Ngakoue, he was trying to hold like this level of power in this negotiation that he didn't have.
But then Jan get offered about $17 million and he tore up that contract with this team.
Well, he did do that.
So there you go. There's a difference, man.
Yeah, and there's a lot more money to be made for Jan. But
sure.
I love the parallel, by the way, Kuz. I think it's interesting. And now, then we didn't even know when we brought this up, like Kuz brought up, that then it hits like, is this the Krause Pippen level?
Yeah.
Now that we got this social media back and forth? Absolutely fascinating. Let's go to the phone lines, and we switch topics a little bit to Leonard Fournette.
Mm-hmm.
On the trading blocks, according to Adam Schefter, over the weekend, which, to be honest with you, wouldn't be that much of a surprise. I think he's the only player left outside of Jan that holds some value in return that the Jaguars could get. And he's going into the final year of his deal. The way the CBA is written now, that fifth year is not going to be picked up. And this is it for Leonard Fournette. I'll tell you in a bit, though, why I think they should keep him. First, let's go to Steven. Welcome to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, man. Hope you had a good weekend.
I sure did. I hope you guys did as well. If I may make one comment at least, Jan should remember the old saying of don't bite the hand that feeds, because he went after the owner. But my main question was, since this whole Leonard thing coming out, how will that affect the Jags, you think, and maybe how they go about the draft right now? And if I may add, Austin, I put my mock draft list on YouTube comments. Be as honest as you want on it.
Thanks, man. We appreciate you participating in Shock Your Mock. We're getting to that in just a little bit, we promise. And we'll do it all week long as well. So if we don't get to yours today, I think we picked 7 or 8 of them out today.
7 or 8, yep.
And we'll do more of them throughout the rest of the week, all the way up until Thursday night. Shock Your Mock. Good luck. I can't wait till Austin rips mine, my latest pick. But Fournette, does it change what they're doing? I don't think it really does, man. I don't think this is going to – the Jags have a lot of needs. They have wide receiver. They just released Marquise Lee today. We knew that was coming. They have enough wide receivers, but they want upgrades, and they don't have a lot of guys under contract after next year or this coming year. So they want a receiver investment. Plus, I think they need to get Gardner Minshew one. Offensive line, certainly upgradable. You can never have enough of them. You can get better there, although the fans want offensive line way more than anybody in that building. I firmly believe, at least in the front part of the draft. Defensive line, we know it's a big need. Cornerback, it's a huge need. It might be the most gaping hole, actually, the Jaguars have with Ramsey and Boye gone. Running back is on the table. They like Rock Armstead, but we thought a change of pace guy was needed anyway.
Correct.
I think the philosophy is going to be different this year and more about Minshew, less about Leonard, even if he is on the team.
I don't disagree with that either.
I didn't want to put words in your mouth.
No, you're fine. I've been very adamant saying that the cool thing with Gruden is the fact that he spreads the ball around.
Absolutely.
He's a very dynamic offense.
So the Jaguars need another back regardless. What I don't think the rumors of Fournette make you go get a guy in the first round if Swift is there. Second round even to jump up and get somebody. Maybe you move up to go get a Cam Akers in the third round, because it makes sense to get him anyway, and you're sitting there at 73 and say he's still available at 65. You got all this draft capital, all that. So they might jump up like that. But what I'm trying to say is regardless of what happens with Fournette, I don't believe their mindset in the draft is going to change in the early stages of it. They are drafting a running back, maybe even 2 in this draft, I believe. And I think with or without Fournette still here, that's going to happen.
So the question is, do they change up their philosophy?
That's what he asked.
Yeah. To me, you have to. Okay? Because I haven't seen a lot from Rock Armstead. Okay? To me, Leonard Fournette last year, look at his receptions. Did he lead the team in receptions last year, Leonard Fournette?
I think he did. He had like 80 or 70 or something of them.
So kind of a big piece to your offense. Will you lose that now? And the question is, can Rock Armstead come in and take over that spot? How should I know, Brent? Because I've seen the guy get 1 touchdown and probably get about, I don't know, maybe 20 plays the entire season. So I'm not sure what Rock Armstead brings to the table. And then on top of that, if you do go after a guy in the mid-rounds, well, how much is he going to bring to the table? All right? Like, I get it. Jags fans want to come out and say Leonard Fournette wasn't worth the value of that pick, that what he was worth, the 3rd pick of the draft or whatever like that? 4th pick of the draft. I get that. But is there a Leonard Fournette right now in this up-and-coming draft? Is there a guy that can match him or even be better than Leonard Fournette this year?
I think possible. You could make the case for a guy like Swift, absolutely.
Maybe Swift, and maybe Jonathan Taylor. But Brent, the question is, I don't know. Okay, and that's the problem where if you want to see what Minshew's got, if you're actually, quote, trying to win ball games, how does trading away Leonard Fournette for maybe a 3rd or 4th round pick, how does that help you, man? How does that help Gardner Minshew? In a Jay Gruden offense that, yes, he loves to pass, but even when Gruden was in Cincinnati, he had success. They're still toting the rock to Green Ellis, okay? When he was in Washington, they were toting the rock to Adrian Peterson. So one would think that he would still enjoy Leonard Fournette and what he brings from a skill set. You lose that, I think you lose part of your offense. And then you lose part of your offense for Gardner Minshew to be successful. So to me, the cons just outweigh all the positives of being able to trade him away.
Yeah, listen, I think it's a good point. First of all, the reality is you're trying to replace 1,600 yards in production. Now, you're replacing 3 touchdowns. The reality is he's not going to get 1,600 yards this year because I've already told you, or at least I believe, that, and we have said, the philosophy is going to be different. It's not going to be Leonard right, Leonard left, Leonard in the passing game. It's not going to be that.
Which could help him, actually.
It could.
Yeah.
It could. But the focal point will not be Leonard. Here's why I think the Jaguars have to be really careful in getting rid of Leonard Fournette. And it starts with the 1,600 yards. He's their best player on offense. I mean, DJ Chark had a fantastic year. Gardner Minshew might take the step, and your quarterback, you really hope, is your best player on offense. Maybe somebody emerges. Maybe Josh Oliver emerges. Maybe Tyler Eifert stays healthy. Maybe D.D. Westbrook finally has a big year. But let's just say front and center, are you willing to give up your best offensive player, even if it is kind of a rebuild, and not really we're all in to win, for... I mean, what is he going to get, man? Like a 5th-round pick? 4th-round pick?
There might be a team out there that's super desperate and might get a 3rd-round pick, but if it's me, I think more a 4th or 5th-round pick. This is the running back position after all, Brent.
After all, I mean, why wouldn't you just give up? It's a manageable contract, absolutely. But why wouldn't you just invest in somebody in the draft in your 4th round and give that pick up? I mean, you might have just as much luck doing that. Right? I mean, Kansas City, I think people brought up, that makes some sense, right? They have a lot of pieces.
Yeah, go ahead and give them a goal line back now because that's all they need is more offense. Come on. I agree.
But at $4 million makes sense.
I'm kidding. I'm being sarcastic. Look, I don't want to see him go to Kansas City. I think Kansas City's got enough talent as it is. They don't need Leonard Fournette. My biggest gripe, Brent, is the fact that this up-and-coming year, are you trying to compete for an AFC South division? Probably not. Let's be realistic right now. But what you're supposed to be trying to do is see if Gardner Minshew is the guy going forward. And if you take away your leading receiver and your leading rusher and trade him someplace else, that does not help Gardner Minshew. Now, I understand. The last game of the season when Fournette sat out, Minshew had his best game of the year. Hands down. Looked great. I don't care, okay? Because the Colts secondary was not all healthy. They obviously had some guys sitting out, and I think it was kind of more of an asterisk next to that game than anything. I think Gardner Minshew and that offense is better with Leonard Fournette on the field than him getting traded. So that's why I don't want to see Fournette go. That's why I say you just, let Fournette have this season, and keep in mind what Fournette's got at stake. This is about to be a contract year.
You hit it.
For Leonard Fournette.
Thanks for getting it.
You're welcome.
It took me a while to get there.
Yeah. So keep it in mind.
Because to be honest with you, my mind blanked.
You're all good. Well, and I'm sure that a lot had to do with your mock draft today. We'll get to that later. Whole lot of mind blanking today for Brent Martineau, but we'll touch on that later. But that's the thing, Brent. This player has more motivation right now on that team than anybody. Because this is the year where if he comes out and totes the rock and puts up big numbers, then he's getting paid.
Yes.
Okay? Then he's probably going to make Derrick Henry type, not Derrick Henry type money, but he's making close to Derrick Henry.
More than he's going to make.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important. So why wouldn't you want that guy around? Do you think Leonard Fournette's going to stick around even though maybe the culture he doesn't like, maybe the management he doesn't like? But you know what, man? This is the most important year of your life, and you cannot mess it up. The ball is in your court, and you got to drain the bucket. You can't throw it out of bounds.
I love that. And thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome,
seriously,
man.
A little inside my head just now.
Yeah.
I was like, all day, I'm like, hey, I like this topic today because I really believe this is a reason why. Well, as we got on the topic, I'm like, what the heck was the reasoning why I wanted to say? I totally had lost it.
No,
we got to play with the yawn stuff. And then you finally got me onto it.
Yeah.
So I was dancing a little bit there.
You're all good,
now,
man.
I do think your number one weapon, taking them off your offense, taking them out from your play. Listen, the Jags could operate better. Minshew might be better playing out of the shotgun more, running things through him. Absolutely. But you are talking about a guy who's talented. You're talking about a guy who has done some pretty good things in the NFL. I think Leonard just takes a beating sometimes. I understand. It wasn't his fault he got picked 4th overall. He has contributed. And if he has a big year this year, by the way, you're going to look at his numbers and say, that's pretty good. Pretty good in 4 years. You can make the case if he has a good year, by the way. He's got way better first 4 years than even a Derrick Henry. Henry came on late. But you nailed it for me. Why not get everything you can out of Leonard Fournette? Unfortunately for the running back,
he will give you everything.
Unfortunately for the running back position, it's the nature of the position. Sorry, Maurice Jones-Drew and Freddie T. And I love you. But the nature of the position is use them as much as you can, and then good luck if you got 4 more years in you or 2 more years in you. God bless you.
It's a cold world.
It's just the way it exists.
Yeah.
And so if you pick this guy top 5, and as long as he's not that much of a headache internally, which is debatable, I think you do exactly what you said because you're going to get the most out of him. You know, the situation with Cam Robinson is not the worst thing in the world. You know why? It's a contract year. Contract years in sports are huge. If you go back and look at 2017 and the makeup of their team, yes, they brought in some big-time free agents, but they also had guys in contract years, including their quarterback, Blake Bortles, who played some of the best football that he ever played in his life and maybe ever will. So having those guys in those situations where there's a chip on their shoulder, they're focused, they know the money exists beyond, bigger than it's ever has, if they play well in that season, is not a bad thing for a football team. I think you will have a Leonard Fournette focused. I think you'll have a Leonard Fournette willing to put it all on the line because, you know what? I think Leonard Fournette likes money. And I think a lot of us like money, but I think Leonard Fournette really likes money. Yeah. And I think Fournette will be motivated to cash in at the end of this year. Let's go to the phone lines real quick. We got a call on Fournette before we shift gears. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. This is John. Hey, John, what's up, man?
Nothing too much. How about y'all?
We're doing great.
Yeah, so I was wanting to talk about Fournette. Obviously, I think Fournette's one of my favorite players on the Jags team, but and he's obviously a really great player in the NFL, but I can't help but to think, you know, back in, 2017, it's been so long since we had a good year. Back in 2017, though, you know, he had a productive year, but, you know, we usually won our games when we didn't have him, you know, and it's a really weird thing to think about. But and another thing I'd like to mention is the fact that right now the team's trying to set a precedence, you know, of, hey, this is a new standard that we have. When I saw Jalen Ramsey on the sidelines, you know, pushing Doug Marrone, I was like, this team has no discipline. And so I'm thinking in the same thing that Fournette's a guy who's a good player, but is he really worth, you know, bogging the team down with his lack of discipline? Yeah, he's had a better year as far as discipline issues go on and off the field, but at the same time, he's kind of like one of those Dante Fowlers who you might have to be worrying about. And the team, you know, it's hard to say, you know, that they are trying to get rid of him or whatever, but at the same time, is it almost worth it knowing that you could win without him, and also knowing that it could possibly set a bad precedence, you know, for the rest of the year in this new culture that they're building.
Yeah, John, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you listening to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. It's an interesting comparison to Dante Fowler, right? Fowler has a lot of good things going on, but you're a little nervous about what Dante's going to show up. I think there's an element to that. I think it's on a different scale, but I think there's an element of that to Fournette. Bottom line is, listen, Fournette's not going to be here after next year. He's not. But I do believe you might be better off this year with Fournette on the football field. Now, they have to weigh all the internal stuff. Is Mark really right about coaches don't even want to work with him? Is he a bad teammate? Is all that stuff that he kind of did last year really a facade? You know, they have to determine that. They know that.
Bro, the guy spent 3 months in Wyoming. Is that a facade?
I don't know.
Go live in Wyoming for 3 months and then let me know how that goes for you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, character concerns are now being spread out. And by the way, what are you going to get in compensation? So I think it's threefold. You got a guy who have a chip on his shoulder, a guy that you're not going to get that much for in return, I don't believe, probably for the value of him that he can give you, and he's your best offensive player. I don't think I'd try to make it work out with Leonard Fournette more than I trade away Leonard Fournette here this week.
Listen, I'm not concerned about Leonard Fournette being a problem this year in the locker room because he understands this, Brent. You should understand this, and I understand this, where if you have a great year, then you're going to get paid. And I get it. You're at the running back position, but you know what, man? You've been pretty you're durable last year to the last game of the season, but teams will be intrigued by you. So if you go out there, you act like a good teammate, even a captain, dare I say, and you go out there and tote the rock, someone's going to pay you because that's the way the NFL works. So he's not going to be a distraction, I don't think. He's not going to be a liability because if he is, man, that hurts him. All of a sudden, if he's not playing in the game, if they bench him, well, then there go his numbers, man. For the running back position, it's all about numbers. It's all about your average. It's all about the number of touchdowns you get. And it's all about how you look on film. If he's not out there to make the plays because of his lack of discipline, unquote, well, then that's on him. But I don't see that happening. And I'll make an argument, too. You got a guy like Miles Jack. I remember seeing Miles Jack last year get dragged off the field by Ernest Wilford in the first game of the season against the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? Well, that guy's a captain. That guy just got paid. So what are we talking about where distractions to the team? detriments to the team, detriments to the culture. When I can make an argument, last year I think Leonard Fournette was probably even a better captain than Miles Jack was. At least what I saw. Now maybe I'm completely lost, and maybe I didn't see the behind the scenes stuff with Leonard Fournette and the coach and stuff like that. I'm just going by what I saw on the field and what I heard. I didn't see anything wrong with Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't either. I didn't see that kind of stuff, you know.
But what did you see? But you saw Miles Jack get carried off the field.
Yeah. So listen, you know better than anybody. Stuff that goes on behind the scenes in meeting rooms, whether it's time spent or in the headquarters or just little things that might add up, right? That even the public sometimes, you could tell us stories for days about guys you played with that the public would have no idea about.
Of course.
And so is there more of that? Well, it sounds like to some that there might be more of that with Leonard. And maybe it wasn't as a 180 in some people's eyes as it felt like to the public eye from 2018 to 2019. I still think it's a risky deal and maybe not worth it to get Fournette out of here. I understand if you can get some value. Third-round pick would seem pretty good. Anything below that, I'm not sure it's worth it to put the product on the field. You have to surround Minshew with some stuff still. Don't take away his best player.
Well, that and a safety blanket as well, because you have a tight end in Tyler Eifert, but can he stay healthy? When the pocket gets collapsed and there's pressure on Gardner Minshew, who's he throwing to?
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette. If he's gone, then what?
Hey, 5 o'clock hour, we have Sal Paolantonio coming on. Are the Eagles interested in Yannick and Ngakoue? We'll have a little more Fournette talk on the way as well. But coming up next, Trevon Diggs, come on down. Cornerback, Alabama. Man. Why I picked him on Golic and Wingo this morning.
I can't wait
for this. It's on ESPN 690 next.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. Pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up. Like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines. And the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for everything you do, and we'll always be here to help you do it. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Dave Binion, owner of Zero Res. Here's some good news. Zero Res received some stimulus funding from the government. There are 3 things that I would like to do with this money. First, I want to help slow the spread of COVID-19 by making your home a cleaner, healthier, and safer place to live. Second, I want to keep our employees working so they can provide for their families and keep the economy running. Third, I want to help those in need. So here's my plan. Now through the end of April, Zero Res is offering 25% off all services. That's cleaning carpets, area rugs, tile and grout, upholstery, everything. This also includes stain protectant, pet urine treatments, sealing grout, and granite countertops. 25% off everything. Also, we ask that you submit someone that you know that is in need. Zero Res will clean the carpets in the home of one family in need each day, absolutely free. Help Zero Res fight against the spread of COVID-19. Keep the economy going and help those in need. Give us a call at 287-5727. That's 287-5727. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
J. David Tax Law wants you to know that they are here to help individuals and businesses with tax debt issues during the coronavirus pandemic. Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Tax problems can be extremely stressful, especially now. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. These programs expire on July 15th, so don't wait. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. With a $1 trillion economic stimulus package on the way, the IRS will be collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777 or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by ***, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing *** Mobile from your mobile phone. That's *** Mobile. When prospective customers see your offline or online ad and they dial your branded StarStar mobile number, StarStar Mobile helps to convert them through text, voice, and online communications. Give it a try now by dialing StarStar Mobile from your mobile phone. That's StarStar Mobile.
Hey, Jacksonville, it's Brent Martineau. It's a tough time for everyone right now, and we hope you and your families are staying safe and healthy. Our friends at Bold City Heating and Air want me to let you know that they are here if you need them. As many of us now call our office home, the summer heat has also arrived. Temperatures are climbing. If you find yourself in need of an emergency with your AC unit, Bold City Heating and Air wants you to know that they have a crew standing by and on call to help. Mirza and his staff at Bold City Heating and Air are there for you. Call 904-379-1648 or visit them at boldcityac.com.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine offers a tuition-free educational program to prepare the child for a lifetime of success. FSDB offers free comprehensive education, transportation, and boarding services at no cost to all eligible deaf or blind students, elementary through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. Call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org to learn more.
When your car needs service, you want a safe place to go. That place is Arlington Toyota. Here's how Arlington has enhanced safety in their service department to keep you and their team of technicians safe. You can drop off your vehicle and Arlington will give you a solo ride home, so you don't have to wait on site. Arlington will even pick up your vehicle from you and return it free through April 30th. And speaking of sanitized, Arlington is cleaning the steering wheel, center consoles, and gear shift with sanitizing wipes as an added precaution. And if you come in, Arlington has enhanced its cleaning measures using hospital-grade sanitizing products and cleaning high-touch surfaces every hour. They've also increased the space between seats in their lounges and cashier lines to maintain the safe 6-foot distance recommended by the CDC. Oh, and if you need parts, you can order them and pay for them online, and Arlington will deliver them for free until April 30th as well. The service, parts, and collision departments at Arlington Toyota are open, and they've adjusted their hours to best serve you. Get the latest updates or schedule your appointment at arlingtontoyota.com today. And most of all, stay well and know that Arlington is here for you.
Right now, the world feels different as we stay apart to make sure we can safely come back together. Till then, there is something you can do without even leaving your home. Respond to the 2020 census online, by phone, or by mail. The census impacts where hundreds of billions in federal funding will go for things like hospitals, schools, and roads. Now is the time to go to 2020census.gov. It's as easy as it is important. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov. Paid for by U.S. Census Bureau.
These days, the whole world is on the internet 24/7, on their phones, at work, even at the dinner table. It's the internet all the time. So why, when it's time to sell your home, does your traditional agent charge you 6% to list it on the MLS to other agents instead of targeting buyers directly online? That's why Rex was born. For a fee starting at 2%, Rex sells your home where buyers are looking, online, optimized by data-driven marketing, not the MLS. To get started, visit sellwithrex.com. That's sellwithrex.com. With Rex, selling or buying a home has never been easier. Price your home, get a virtual consultation, visit online open houses and showings, all from the comfort of your home with a few clicks of a button. Want to learn more? Visit sellwithrex.com or just use your phone and call 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. License number CQ1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
J. David Tax Law wants you to know that they are here to help individuals and businesses with tax debt issues during the coronavirus pandemic. Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Tax problems can be extremely stressful, especially now. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. These programs expire on July 15th, so don't wait. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. With a $1 trillion economic stimulus package on the way, the IRS will be collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777 or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Now more than ever, it's important to recognize the amazing medical professionals in our community. Join Cox Media Group in saluting these healthcare heroes.
Arabelle Mora, nurse at St. Vincent's. Scott Berman, neonatal respiratory therapist at Wolfson's Children's Hospital. And Tabitha Ouellette, nurse at St. Vincent's.
Cox Media Group thanks you for being this community's healthcare heroes during a time when we all need it more than ever. If you'd like to nominate someone as your healthcare hero, go to ESPN690.com.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Jack's Hearing and Balance, Jim Bryant Landscapes, March Motors, Bay Street Bar and Grill, Baker Sports, AMW Clean. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays, 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I think our next step is going to be to get together as a group, and the plan is going to be to connect with Jamal at some point after the draft.
That's Joe Douglas. Jamal Adams talking about New York Jets. And the Jags could dance a little bit. Yeah, the Jets and the Jags have been kind of related in the organization on a bunch of different topics, whether it was Tebow, Dave Caldwell turned down the Jets, I think, for the Jags. And could they dance a little bit here in the 2020 draft or leading up to it? We'll see. Fournette doesn't make sense for Jamal Adams. That's not going to happen. But Yannick and Ngakoue certainly could have been. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos, here on a Monday. All right, here was the deal, people. I've been tasked with picking for the Jacksonville Jaguars on Golic and Wingo's mock draft 2020. I did so on Thursday with the 9th overall selection. I picked Javon Kinlaw.
Fantastic pick.
Austin Lane loves it.
Couldn't
a lot of people
happier.
wanted to fire me after the 9th pick.
A few did, Brent, but let's be honest. I think the overall majority, we're with you, man. We're behind you. Yeah, the whole city behind you.
Not the whole city.
Okay, some of the city was behind you.
But related to this one, yeah, I had the whole city behind me.
Correct.
So here I am sitting at number 20. The Dallas Cowboys, by the way, going into this day, through the first 16 picks, CeeDee Lamb's still on the board. Well, I'm running up, pulling a hammy on the virtual podium to get CeeDee Lamb if he's around. The Dallas freaking Cowboys, with Amari Cooper already there, and they need help on defense, they take CeeDee Lamb. Now, I think the Dolphins would have taken him anyway, although the Dolphins took a tackle in Josh Jones. And then Kenneth Murray was off the board, which it makes no sense for a linebacker to come to Jacksonville with the 20th overall pick.
Yep.
Friday, you wrote down in an envelope who you thought my Final Four would be.
Just like that Kevin Costner movie where you said so-and-so no matter what on draft day. Yes.
You did the same.
Documentary. Yes.
And so we'll reveal that after we reveal this. This is how it went down this morning on ESPN 690 on Golic and Wingo.
Now let's go to Jacksonville. Yet again on this one, and to help us out with the Jacksonville Jaguars at pick number 20, we bring back Brent Martineau from ESPN 690 in Jacksonville. Brent, the floor is yours.
Good morning. With the 20th overall selection in the 2020 Golic and Wingo mock draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars pick Trevon Diggs, cornerback, Alabama.
Mel Kiper Jr.'s player profile.
You look at Diggs, obviously the brother of Stephon Diggs. You look at the size at 6'1.5", former receiver at 205 pounds. They're very well coached with Nick Saban. Those defensive backs, Nick works with them in practice, pushes them hard to develop their technique. Diggs, though, I thought this year at times, you looked at some hiccups in coverage. I'd like to see him shore that up a bit. There's a guy that you could make an argument after Jeff Okudah and C.J. Henderson and Noah Igbenogany from Auburn. In terms of talent, he's right there with that top 3 or 4 corners in this draft.
Well, we have him as the third one. He's the third cornerback off the board. And, Brent, you earlier picked for Jacksonville Javon Kinlaw, the D-tackle out of South Carolina, with pick number 9, taking that spot for Calais Campbell. Is this another kind of filler role? Jalen Ramsey gone, bringing another cornerback?
Yeah, ironically, this would be the Rams pick that the Jaguars got for the trade with Jalen Ramsey, but cornerback has to be addressed in the first few rounds of this draft for the Jags, and I'm not sure Diggs is getting enough attention. Jags have to replace Ramsey and also A.J. Boye in the secondary, and I think Diggs has traits of both of these guys. He's huge, as Mel just said, 205 pounds, long arms, tremendous wingspan, and the former receiver just knows how to go get the ball. So, hey, the best tape to watch, guys, on Diggs, if the Jags could get their hands on it, might be practice at Alabama going against those receivers every day. Don't be surprised if we look back on this draft in a few years and Diggs is the best corner in the class.
Wow. We talked to Trevon Diggs, and we appreciate the help this morning, Brent. We talked to Trevon Diggs earlier in this show, and he talked about going up against the host of future NFL wide receivers in that Alabama room. So we would kill for that 7-on-7 tape there. I would also kill for a spicy draft nugget right now. Pop the binder tray.
Well, this would be interesting if this does happen, going to replace Jalen Ramsey, who went on to the Rams, because Diggs said he studies tape of Jalen Ramsey, saying Ramsey is a really ball hungry. I like that because I like the ball on my hands even though I'm on defense. Remember, he started out as a wide receiver at Alabama. And by the way, we talked about his brother, Stephon Diggs. Really, it's more of a fatherly relationship there because Stephon and Trevon lost their father in 2008. Aaron died of congestive heart failure at the age of 39, and the two of them working together and sort of having each other's back to help them get through this. And what's even more interesting, the first ever NFL game Trevon Diggs attended was the Minneapolis Miracle game in the 2017 playoffs when Stephon Diggs had the first ever walk-off touchdown as time expired in NFL playoff history. So we'll look forward to seeing if Trevon Diggs can make those kind of game-changing plays on the defensive side like we've already seen big brother Stephon do in the NFL.
A really tough, standard to set right there. Oh, so this is what all these are like, huh?
Yeah. Going to need a pick 6 from you to finish a game in the postseason now to match Big Brother. But their bond is absolutely tight, so we'll see what happens there. So there you have.
Hey, Austin's still here. At least he didn't walk out. I thought we might get him out. If it wasn't a Shock Your Mock segment coming up in a little bit, he might be walking out. Well, you and the rest of Twitter didn't love my Trevon Diggs pick. So here's a little bit of an explainer.
Yeah,
okay?
Hey. Please. First of all, explain to me, how many pots did you smoke before that interview on 420? Explain that one to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Explain that one to me first, and then answer the question.
I don't like these accusations.
Okay. I don't like taking Diggs to the 20th pick.
I had a pot of coffee.
But go on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say the wording that you used. How many pots did you smoke?
That's from a movie.
Okay.
Yeah, come on. I'm quoting something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. I go with Diggs. And by the way, this was unhealthy this weekend, how much research went into this.
It's crazy.
I woke up at 4:30 in the morning Saturday night and was thinking about this pick. Yeah. I'm not lying. I did go to the bathroom, too, but I was still thinking about this pick.
Sure.
I mean, why? Yeah. It's a mock draft.
Mm-hmm.
Steph said, what the hell are you doing? About 14 times over the weekend.
Yeah.
I said, I'm studying. Mm-hmm. I'm looking. I did a lot of work on this pick.
Mm.
And so I go 3 different areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lamb was an easy one. You run up and go Lamb. He wasn't there.
Yep.
So then,
but by the way, that was my
What are you going to unveil it?
You want to let me unveil it right now?
No, wait.
Okay,
I'll show you my thinking.
Spoiler alert: Lamb was the first guy I had you picking.
Okay, well and you should. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I wanted to get Minshew a weapon.
He was my third guy, by the way.
But I'll explain the receivers here. I liked Ayuk a little bit. Mm-hmm. I like T. Higgins, who we talk about.
Sure.
I'm not going to lie to you, man. The same thing we talked about last week with Higgins, like the 31-inch vertical and stuff.
Scared you a little bit.
because I feel like I can get the 6'4" guy, the tall target in the red zone, and Pittman maybe in the second round, or even a Claypool
and
later
trust
on.
me, I like Pittman a lot too. Okay.
And I'm not saying they're better than Higgins, but I feel like I can get that body size.
Sure.
Like Ayuk is like another D.D. Westbrook type size. I want different. And Lamb would have been so good of a value that I would have gone there.
Sure.
So receivers were off the board for me because I didn't see enough separation with my other picks coming up. There's so many receivers in the draft.
Okay.
I literally looked hard at defensive end. Looked hard at defensive end.
Go on.
Okay, so Epinesa was really high. I was like, safe pick at number 20. I like him.
Yep.
The problem with him at 20 right now for the Jags, I thought, is they just invested like 3 years, $18 million into Gunter, who they see playing that spot. They also have DeJuan Smoot, who's coming off like a 6-sack year. Now, I'm not saying Smoot's like the man. I'm asking you, do you think in year one, Epinesa would be better than any of those guys? It's a crowded room all of a sudden. Now, you could move Gunter over to 3 technique, but I just got Javon Kinlaw as well. So I'm getting a little crowded, and I need other spots.
I'm not mad at that one, Brent, but go ahead and also tell me who is available up from the edge rush position.
Okay, this is good. Okay, Kalavon Chason.
Thank you, Brent.
So here's what everybody's saying, and maybe more so right now, but I see my thinking with Chason.
Let's hear it.
Is he's Jan, right? Well, my thinking with Jan is he's going to be here going into this. I know a lot of people think he's gone. I don't. I think he's here. Well, now I really think he might be here, but
he's here for a year, though.
He is here for a year.
Okay.
So you got Josh Allen, and you got Chason, and you've got Jan all in those spots. Again, you have a lot of needs on this football team. I will also give you this. I told you I did research. How about this? No defensive end since 2013 that has been picked 20 or below in the first round has been good. None.
Since what year?
Since 2000 through 13. You have to go back to 2012 to find me now, I'll give you this. Montez Sweat might be.
Josh Allen's pretty good.
No, but he wasn't picked in the 20s.
In 20, I got you. I'm sorry.
Saying,
okay.
So my mentality is if you're going to pick an edge rusher or a
I
defensive end,
gotcha.
you've got to do it early.
Gotcha.
Because you have to go back to 2012 to find Chandler Jones and Whitney Merciless to get big-time production when you're in the 20s. Taven Bryan obviously hasn't delivered. But I'll tell you this, Taven Bryan might be one of the bigger names since 2013 to be picked at the defensive line position and be productive. There's none. Go back and look at it. It's fascinating, really. You'd have better luck in the second or third round finding guys that have been productive than you would picks number 20 through 32.
Okay.
All right? So I did some homework there.
Next
I thought offensive lineman, but Austin Jackson, he's like the 6th offensive lineman off the board. I can get some depth in the 3rd round or 4th round in this draft. I'm going to do that instead. So it really came down to corners. So corners for me, and I like those other guys like Gladney and Johnson. It's really beauty in the eye of the beholder. You could sell me on Johnson. You could sell me on Gladney. You could sell me on Fulton. And you can sell me on Diggs. I really wrestled between Fulton and Diggs.
I know, because you sent me a text message.
I did, and he wouldn't help me.
Wouldn't help you. Wasn't going to budge.
But
I tried to help you, but you didn't see my cryptic texting back. Yeah.
So here's what I did, okay? I basically said, I'm going to find something in the top 20 that I can't teach. And Okuda's one of the top 5 corners in this draft, I think because of the unteachable measurables. He's got the Jalen Ramsey measurables. He's 6'1", 6'1.5", 205 pounds. He's got long arms. He's got the wingspan. He's got speed. He's obviously good on tape, and he's done a great job at Ohio State. Well, this guy is in that mold. The reason why Diggs isn't higher, in my opinion, twofold. One, people love the NFL Combine and the testing and all that stuff, and he didn't do it, so he didn't slide, because that's where people slide up and down boards a lot this time of year.
Yeah.
And I just think he's more raw than any of these guys because he played wide receiver and he played kick returner and punt returner a bit early on. He was a receiver coming into Alabama, and he also got hurt in 18. So I just think there's a raw side. He's a little green at the position. But I said, you know what? You can't teach this kind of athleticism. And I like the upside more than I do with Fulton. I will say one thing entered my mind with Fulton. Not the drug test, not anything else. I had a weird gut. It was just not bad gut after reading and doing a lot of work on Fulton. I'm like, I don't think he's going to be elite. This guy could be elite. So I can't wait. I'm keeping receipts on all of you people that question this pick.
Do it.
And I'm coming back.
Do it.
And I'm going to tell you when Trevon Diggs is the best corner in the class of 2020.
So Kuz just told me we have 3 minutes left of the segment. Kuz, I'm going to need about 10 minutes here because I'm about to go on a little bit of a rant. So Brent woke up this morning, fantastic mood. I thought to myself, and I played this out in a million ways during my meditation periods, I'm like, there's no way Brent Martineau can screw this mock draft up, okay? Because somebody's going to fall to him. All you got to do, pull the trigger, and we're good to go. And keep in mind, I think number 9, Brent, your Kinlaw pick, sensational. Chef's kiss. I thought the show was represented in the best of lights. You had every opportunity. I was behind you. Kuz was behind you. The whole city was behind you. We're going through tough times right now, man. We're in quarantine. The city of Jacksonville, it needs hope. There's been bad optics here for the past year and a half. You had the opportunity to provide hope. And what'd you do? You spit in everybody's face. And do you know why? Because you took Trevon Diggs. Now, here's my, by the way, screw this note thing, because I was completely off for you. So
who'd you have me taking?
So here we had. So I had taken Lamb. Lamb was off the board. The second guy I had you taken was Chazon.
Okay, he was there.
The third guy, Epinesa.
Yeah, he's in the conversation.
And the fourth guy was Fulton.
You had a Final Four other than Diggs.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't put Lamb in my Final Four because I didn't think he was going to be there.
My Final Four, number 1, even above Lamb, was Chazon. Number 2, even above Lamb, was Fulton. Number 3 was Lamb. And number 4 was Gross Matos. So
I'm not hating it.
I can sit here and say you should have got Chazon because it never hurts to have that edge rusher. I can sit here and tell you I think he's a very explosive player. I think he's got one of the best first steps of any player, and that and then the combine, obviously, and any NFL player coming into his rookie year. I can sit here and tell you where I think if the Jaguars wanted to transition to more of a 3-4 look, he would be perfect for that. I can sit here and tell you and say, you know what? Even though Yannick and Ngakoue is here, you don't need Chazon to play 30, 40 reps a game. Just put him in there for 20. Get him, his chops clean and everything like that. Let him work his power, his edge rushes, and let him go from there. I can sit here and tell you that, but you didn't go that way. And you know what? I'm upset, but that's fine. But here's my real gripe. You picked Trevon Diggs over Christian Fulton. Okay? What was your biggest point to take Trevon Diggs? What would you say to Golic and Wingo? What was the biggest point that you liked in Diggs?
His size,
but also that what he went against Alabama every day in practice.
Oh yeah, I added that in. Yeah. I wouldn't say that was his biggest points, but
it was a nice touch. Question for you: how much is Trevon Diggs' agent paying you right now? I'm being serious. Hey.
No, I got a check from Venmo from Stefan. Actually,
okay, I got you. Here's my point. One could argue that the biggest game last year in the SEC was between who? LSU and Alabama.
Yeah.
Right? That's when all the eyes were watching. I watched that game. Do you know what Trevon Diggs in that game did? Do you know what he did? He gave up 10 catches. He gave up 10 catches for 147 yards and 1 touchdown. Also had a 33% tackling grade in that game. Do you know what Christian Fulton did in that game against who you put it, some great wide receivers in Alabama? Do you know what he did against Alabama?
Had a good day.
He only allowed 3 catches for 39 yards and 0 touchdowns. The defense rests, ladies and gentlemen. And I apologize on the behalf of Brent Martineau and ESPN 690. I apologize for that Trevon Diggs pick. Now, if he comes here, I got to face him like a man, and I'll do that. But I think you missed a prime opportunity in taking Christian Fulton, who's a shutdown corner, to say the least.
That was a good defense right there. I will say this. You got to be very careful. A.J. Terrell, all the top guys, if you measure them against LSU last year, it's dangerous. They all stunk. Now, Fulton didn't have to play him.
Yeah, but Alabama?
But you're right. Fulton had to go against him in practice. Yeah. I just like I like the measurables more on Diggs than Fulton. Fulton scares me a little bit.
I like holding Alabama to 3 catches and 39 yards. That's what I love. The eye in the sky does not lie. You got to watch the film, Brent.
By the way, I flipped totally on this one. I didn't want him taking a corner with the Rams pick and Jalen Ramsey, and I flipped and I went all in. In fact, I hope Diggs picks uniform number 20
should have been
21 because Ramsey wanted it.
Should have been Fulton or Chazon, Brent.
When we come back, Sal Paolantonio will join us. Plus, you thought that mock was tough for me. How about yours? Shock your mock coming up in the 5 o'clock hour on ESPN 690.
The Child Cancer Fund salutes the medical professionals caring for patients on the front lines of pediatric cancer care today and every day. In these uncertain times, the one thing constant is our collective dedication to our community. Your support allows the Child Cancer Fund to provide direct assistance to children and their families who are fighting pediatric cancer. If you're in a position that allows you to give, please know that every gift helps, and 92 cents of every dollar goes directly to Northeast Florida families. Visit childcancerfund.org. That's childcancerfund.org to give today.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
All offers with approved credit and not in conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Drive forward.
Shop online and get home delivery. Or make an appointment for our showroom.
We're open for business.
At Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Try the new Ram Quad Cab 4x2 and have it delivered from just $269 a month.
For a limited time,
get 0% financing for 84 months and make no payments for 90 days.
See our inventory at #1cjd.com.
Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard.
Our friends at Arlington Toyota are here for you, and they've taken some extra steps to make sure your Arlington experience is safe and convenient. First, and this is a big one, Arlington has now extended its exchange policy to 30 days. That's 30 days you have to love your purchase or exchange it. Now that's peace of mind. They're also going to give you no payments for 90 days. That's 90 days deferred payments on all new and certified pre-owned Toyotas. You can shop over 1,000 vehicles online. And in fact, you can complete your entire purchase 100% online, including choosing your car, trade-in, and even financing. Arlington will then deliver your completely sanitized vehicle to you at your home. All departments at Arlington are open: sales, service, parts, and collision. And they've adjusted their hours to work best for you. Check it out online at arlingtontoyota.com. And if you do come in, know this: Arlington is using hospital-grade sanitizing products and following all CDC guidelines to keep you and their team safe. Find out more at arlingtontoyota.com. And most of all, stay well and know that Arlington is here to help. This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you: The Honeydew Service, Anderson Insurance, Best Choice Roofing, Air Max Heating and AC. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Pros. Lowe's stores are here to help keep your business moving forward so you can get the things you need, like plumbing and electrical supplies. Plus, we have the replacement appliances for any properties you manage, because we know you're still making repairs to keep people's homes running smoothly at this important time. From our convenient curbside loading to job site delivery, you can count on us every day. We're pro ready and here for you.
At AutoZone, we're here to help you get what you need, and that won't change. In need of an oil change? Right now you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic Motor Oil, an STP Extended Life Oil Filter, and a $15 AutoZone gift card by mail or email, all for just $33.99. And if you need something fast, you can get it fast. Your way, whether it's next day delivery or free same-day pickup, in-store or curbside. The choice is yours. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Restrictions and details on AutoZone.com.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
He's one of those guys that might be a question mark at the NFL level because of his pure athleticism and all, but you look at things like when he came off the bench in a national championship game, his first real playing time, everything was on the line and he performed. He did the big stage never affected him. He went out and balled. He just flat out played, and he's got a tremendous arm. He just flicks his wrist and that thing's spinning. It reminds me of the way the ball came off Michael Vick's hand and how hard and far he can actually throw the football.
That is Doug Flutie talking about Tua right there. Where will Tua land in the NFL draft? We will find out on Thursday. At least we think so. He's not going to slide out of the first round, is he? Tua might be the most fascinating player. The Jacksonville Jaguars might be the most fascinating team in the draft. They have a dozen picks. They've got drama with Yannick and Ngakoue. They have drama potentially with trade rumors with Leonard Fournette. I mean, there could be a very active front office for the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up on Thursday. Brent Martineau, former Jags player Austin Lane, here at Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. And right now, we're joined by ESPN Sal Paolantonio. Welcome to the program, Sal. I hope you and your family are doing well during these difficult times. I know everybody's excited about the draft this week.
It'll be a welcome distraction, that's for sure. And thank you for asking. We're all doing quite well. I hope you guys are doing good.
We are happy to have you on again. We talked to a year ago when Nick Foles joined the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know you're a big fan of Nick, obviously wrote the book, and that's done well. How surprised are you that it lasted such a short time here in Jacksonville for Nick Foles?
Very surprised. Obviously, the injury had a lot to do with it. There's no question about that. And now they've got to reconfigure their entire offense with a new offensive coordinator and decide whether or not they're going forward really with Mr. Minshew. I mean, that's the big question. I mean, Gardner showed some flashes. There's no question about that. After Nicky broke his collarbone 11 snaps into the year. So they're all in, I guess, on Gardner. We'll see what happens.
Sal, in terms of Foles now going to Chicago, he joins back up now with quarterback coach John DeFilippo. How do you think Nick Foles will fare in Chicago, obviously going against Mitch Trubisky in a competition?
I think he's going to beat him out. I think Nick Foles will be the starting quarterback. I think they didn't acquire him for nothing. I think that ship has sailed on Mitchell Trubisky, and that's going to turn out to be a pretty costly first-round pick for Chicago.
I agree with you, too. Sal Paolantonio from ESPN with us. ESPN's draft coverage will be all over the place, of course, on Thursday, but leading up to it. And Sal Paolantonio will be with the Giants, the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Jets, 4 teams to cover. So I know you have a lot of going on. I know a lot of homework being done, Sal. Did you catch the Yannick and Ngakoue and Tony Khan back and forth on social media today? If you didn't, they kind of sparred with a few comments. How unusual is this situation? Have you seen that before where a player just attacks upper management like this?
No, never seen it before. I mean, that's not a good way to keep your job, is to attack the boss's son. And it's not a good way for you to find another job if your new employer or prospective new employer has found in your social media contact that you've been attacking the former boss's son. I don't understand it, frankly. That is just off-the-charts behavior. It's not something I would recommend to my 3 daughters. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, very surprising the way it went down. You will cover the Eagles, the Giants, and the Jets. I'll leave the Ravens out of this discussion. All 3 of those teams could have been or could still be potential trade partners with the Jags on Yannick and Ngakoue. What are you hearing about with their pass rush situation? Do you have any idea if those teams have any interest in Yannick and Ngakoue?
I hear it's all quiet on the Western Front. I hear it's very quiet right now. And the latest back and forth on social media has definitely not helped.
And I wonder that, and that's what we're wondering today. How much will this eliminate some of those teams in play? You get to cover...
I mean, a common sense dictates that it would.
Yeah.
But, I've heard, and it's not something that I bring up with GMs, but have recently discussed it with some teams, and I've gotten stone silence, not because they're trying to hide anything. It's just because it's something they want to stay away from. And by the way, ESPN's draft coverage starts tonight. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2 is the debut of the NFL matchup draft special on ESPN2 at 7:30, and then re-airs at 11:30 p.m. with me, Matt Bowen, and Greg Cosell. We actually taped our first show virtually, remotely. First time I ever hosted a show from my home office. So I'm looking, I haven't had a haircut in a while either. So Brett and Austin, you're going to have to check out, how I look and how it all comes off. 18 years I've been hosting the show. First time we did it from and it was the first time that ESPN had a show where the host was not in a studio during this pandemic. So it was a big, fat experiment all the way around. I want you guys to watch it and give me some critique on social media.
We will do it for sure.
That's what we can do, absolutely.
It's tonight, and by the way, Austin's very good at critiquing. He does it to me every day, every
you better
show.
Believe it, Sal.
7:30 tonight on ESPN2, and also 7 o'clock tomorrow, the NFL matchup show, NFL draft special, Sal Paolantonio. How'd it go? What are some of the topics you get into earlier this week? Because who do you think are some of the most intriguing teams entering the draft on Thursday?
Well, I think the Jaguars are definitely in my top 5 most intriguing teams because whenever a team has 2 first-round picks and they've made the changes that they've made, I've always been a big fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars organization. I've always been treated well when I've come to Jacksonville. As you know, I'm a former naval officer. A lot of former military down there. A lot of my friends relocated after retirement down in the Jacksonville area. I get down there quite a bit. Obviously, because the Eagles played there in the Super Bowl 2004, I go to the Jacksonville, the Marriott down there in Ponte Vedra all the time with my wife and family. So we love it there, and I always root for Jacksonville because of that organization. And I'm fascinated by what they're going to do this year. I really am. That's a division though that's gotten just so much more competitive just in the last year. And it's going to be tough clawing back into contention in that division. I really hope. I wish them well. I really do. I've always had a soft spot for Jacksonville and that organization.
Sal, with everything going on now, with the COVID-19, I mean, the landscape of the NFL and, the quote-unquote sources, I mean, all the professionals and all the experts, they're still making their mock drafts and everything, but one would think that in terms of the communication between teams, it's not as adamant as it's been the past years. So with that being said, there's rumors out there saying that the experts have never got so many picks wrong, in their mock drafts and everything. Do you think that the draft is going to shake out like we all think it will, like the experts will, or are we going to be seeing surprise after surprise come Thursday night?
Oh, I think it's going to go pretty much according to the book. I think it'll be hard to make drafts and make moves because of just how far apart people are in communication. Reports from our reporters showed that there was a little bit of a glitch in the communication at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to hold some kind of mock draft 2.0 between now and Thursday night. Hey, guys, I got to split. I got to go to another radio program here. I appreciate you having me on, really. Good luck to Jacksonville Jaguars. You guys are the best.
Thanks, Sal Paolantonio. We appreciate the time. Sal Pal all over the place here during draft week. And he'll cover the Giants, the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Jets. Of course, all the coverage, ESPN combined with NFL Network. And it starts tonight for Sal Paolantonio, as he was mentioning, from his home. 7:30 tonight, 7 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN2. It'll be an NFL draft special with their matchup show. So make sure you check out that. And then, of course, ESPN, ABC will have the draft on Thursday night, and there's a bunch of coverage all week long, as you would expect, in conjunction with the NFL Network. I actually talked to somebody from the league office today working on a story for our draft special coming up on Thursday night. Anna Isaacson, who's in charge of social responsibility. They have a big draft-a-thon going on right now in the NFL, trying to collect money and raise money for COVID-19 to combat that. The NFL family has already raised over $50 million, and they're trying to make even a bigger mark with a lot of different organizations, ones that hit home here in Jacksonville and all around the country. So a lot of good things going on. We appreciate Sal Pao's time. I know we only had a few minutes, but interesting comments about Yannick and Ngakoue.
Yeah, it was great to hear from him. And, yeah, he's very adamant in saying that Yannick and Ngakoue is not doing himself any favors. And I think, the spectators would agree right now. I had so many questions to ask Sal, about the draft, but obviously he only had a few minutes. Obviously probably found out last second that Brent took Trevon Diggs in the mock draft and couldn't get off the phone fast enough because he wanted to talk to actual experts and not just posers. So it's unfortunate that, Sal couldn't stay with us longer, but I understand the conditions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just messing, man. You know how to give you something.
Oh, I love it. Sal Pal, we appreciate him coming on. And check out tonight's show again, 7:30 on ESPN2. All right. You want to do it?
Let's get it.
You want to shock your mock?
Have you checked the emails?
I did.
All right.
Well, I have them. I shouldn't say I've checked them.
Okay. We should probably set this up a little better, but I think we're okay.
We can set it up.
Okay.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Quick little tutorial.
Yep.
Austin came up with this idea where Saturday, this was like on Friday. So Saturday, he's like, hey, I'm going to look at mock drafts. I'm going to rip them. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have people send them in. I said, wait, let's make that a segment. That could be a lot of fun. So we have no idea if it's going to be fun, but in concept, it feels like it could be fun.
Well, and here's where I'm coming from, man. Okay, because everyone's got their mock draft, right? And everyone's an expert. And the inspiration struck when you had your pick, and at number 9, you took Kinlaw. I thought it was a fantastic pick. You had some haters out there, and I understand that you're always going to have haters no matter what you do. No problem. But the problem is when they were hating on you, Brent, they didn't have other solutions. They didn't say why you were wrong.
Yeah, good call.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the public's mock drafts, and I know, spoiler alert, they're all going to be sucky, and I'm going to break them down and tell you why you guys would make horrible GMs. Now, I'm going to say this, predicated by this before we start. If somebody was able to match my mock draft, because obviously my mock draft is right, because that's how mock draft season works, if someone matches my mock draft, then I will put the word in for you to the Jaguars organization, to the Chiefs, to the Bears, to the Lions, and I will try to get you a front office job because obviously we're on the same wavelength and you know football.
I can't wait for this. By the way, I have added to this. I will pick out the best one.
Someone's got to pick up the pieces. I understand.
Right? So I'll pick up the best one and send some ESPN gear when we can, ESPN 690 gear. And you can keep sending them in. We have quite a few entries already. We'll probably do 7 or 8 of them a day. We'll see how this goes all the way up until Thursday. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, I feel like we should have built some production around this.
Because do you have the draft music? Mel Kiper draft music?
Is this Top Gun?
You have anything more serious? I had one job for you today. I said, can I get some Mel Kiper serious rap music? And you give us Top Gun, playing volleyball in the sand. This is Jason Aldean, but okay, it's fine.
This is like, I feel like I'm watching a movie with The Rock in it.
No. He's got something like CSI.
Is this Guitar Hero?
Law and Order? This might be Guitar Hero. Oh, we're off to a good start. All right, whatever, man. Let's just turn it down so I can concentrate,
It's
please.
called producing on the fly, folks.
I told him to give me something when I walked in the door. I had
Don't worry,
one job.
by next year, we'll have good production for this.
Our first Shock Your Mock contestant. Do you have your email there?
I do.
It goes out to Gator Os. Gator Oos? Gator Os?
Who knows?
This is more, Gator Os. With the first pick, Jerry Jeudy. 20th pick, Josh Jones. Jalen Johnson in the second round. Ross Blacklock in the second round. Willie Gay Jr. in the third round. And Adam Trotman in the third round as well.
Okay, so by the way, that's wide receiver, offensive line, corner, defensive line, linebacker, and then tight end.
Yep, exactly. You do a lot better job explaining them than I do. Listen, not a bad round here for you, Jerry Jeudy. I'm obviously a big fan of him. Taking him at 14.
Traded back,
obviously. I like Ross Blacklock a lot in the second round. Not sure if he drops that far, but super athletic. Could be a game changer from the 3 technique. I like that a lot. Here's what I don't like. I don't like Josh Jones at number 20. Do not like Josh Jones at number 20 because essentially what you're doing here is you're replacing Cam Robinson, whose red flag could be his bad footwork and that he struggled obviously last season a little bit with an injury. And you're replacing him with a project in Josh Jones from Houston, who also has bad footwork, who is also a guy who you need to work with, cultivate. And who's to say Josh Jones can come into camp and beat Cam Robinson? I want my first-round pick starting from day one. Not sure if Josh Jones can do that. Sorry, Gator Oz or Gator O's or whatever your name is. Your mock draft sucks. It was a good attempt, though.
It was a good attempt. We'll come back to that one later. All right, mock number 2.
Brent, you want to go and break this one down?
No, this is all you, man. I am not doing this.
Okay.
I feel for everybody who had to pick.
Okay.
I feel I have thin skin after this GM duty stuff.
Mock draft number 2 comes from...
Oh, my goodness, Michael Sullivan.
I know, right? Mock draft number 2 comes from Michael Sullivan off Twitter. With the first pick, at number 9, comes quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. You know how I feel about that, Brent. Okay? Yeah, thank you, Coos.
He got Judy, though, at number 20.
Jerry Judy. I'm not sure what world you're living in, sir, Michael Sullivan. Jerry Judy, number 20. That's a win where I come from.
Can you write in people for the mock drafts?
Brent, this is anybody's fantasy, okay? This is a fantasy mock draft.
Are you making a comeback?
All right, Coos, I'm going to need a little silence real quick. A little silence here. The second round pick at number 42. Michael Sullivan kind of photoshopped Austin Lane from Murray State with the 42nd pick of the draft. Back to the music, please.
Well, by the way, he also says in his text, I refuse to pay any of these guys more than minimum wage, which actually is a raise for you.
That's going to be a huge upgrade for me. Can't wait to take along with that. And then he's got Troy Pride Jr., guy we talked to at the Senior Bowl, 3rd round corner. Is he a day one starter? Debatable. I think he can come in and nickel, work his way in. Not sure if he's a starter right away. Listen, I love the Austin Lane pick. You know, humble guy, blue collar, Murray State, small, easy Coos. Humble, hardworking guy coming from Murray State with something to prove. I like that a lot, especially keep in mind, Brent, he played a little 3-4 outside linebacker in college as well. Very versatile, right attitude, great family, fantastic work ethic. I already said that. I'm going to say it again. I love your pick with Austin Lane at number 42. Regardless of that, though, you picked Tua at number 9, and you know how I feel about quarterbacks going in the first round. We have Gardner Minshew. Let's see what we got. Sorry, Michael Sullivan. Great pick at number 42. Horrible picks overall. Your mock draft sucks.
Next up.
Draft number 3.
Draft number 3.
Now, listen, this
and
guy.
I don't know who it comes from.
Yeah, listen, I couldn't fit it all on the screen because the guy made 35 trades. You seen this at the bottom? Okay, so with that being said, I don't even know this guy's name, but you made 35 trades. No one in the history of the NFL draft has made 35 trades.
He's got Andrew Thomas at 9.
Yeah.
Jalen Reagor, who is getting a lot of love, actually, the wide receiver, but he had traded back to number 30. Then he picks up Julian Okwara, Bryce Hall, Terrell Burgess. Why does everybody love safety here? Jonah Jackson, J.K. Dobbins at running back.
Keep going, bro. I'm going to find this guy's name quick. Just keep going. You got it.
I mean, there's really Logan Wilson, a linebacker. So he takes tackle, wide receiver, first round. I think people would be okay with that. Helps out Gardner Minshew.
I like that.
He's going edge rusher at 39. And gets Bryce Hall at 42, who actually, if you can get Bryce Hall, I guess 42 makes some sense. They got an extra pick there on this one. You really need his name?
Yeah. He's not going to escape from me. I mean, you're getting called out. Hey, Duval from Virginia. Start to be a Panthers fan or something because the Jacksonville Jaguars don't need you with this mock draft. Are you kidding me right now? Where's your defensive lineman? You took a defensive lineman with the 189th pick. You got that Brent Martineau mock draft syndrome right now. That stuff's contagious. It's going around. No defensive lineman to come in and compete for a spot with Taven Bryan. I hate to say it, but Duval from VA, your mock draft sucks.
Mock draft number 4.
Man, Brett, I can go all day with this stuff. This is invigorating. All right, so now you see how the email came in, so you have to go to number 4 now.
Yep.
You got it? Okay.
I got it.
Number 4. Do we have a name from this guy either?
No, I don't think so.
Because these people make so many trades. All right, so this person right here, Logan Dunn, at Logan Dunn 13 on Twitter. Looks like he's 10 years old in this profile picture. I don't mean to make fun of kids, but here we go anyways. With the 9th pick, Logan selects Henry Ruggs, Alabama. Not mad at that. The rest of the draft, I'm just going to say, I'm not even going to announce all the picks because we can stop here at number,
I'll do it.
At number 20. No, just stop at number 20.
Delpit, at number 20.
Grant Delpit.
From LSU.
You took a safety at number 20 in the first round, sir. When Ronnie Harrison and Jared Wilson are serviceable. They're pretty much dependable. Ronnie Harrison could be a guy going forward, and he took a safety in the first round, a guy you probably could have took in the third round. Brent, stop the draft right there. We don't need to say anymore, man. The kid drafted a safety in the first round. Unless that's your cousin, sir, or your brother, your mock draft is garbage.
All right, next up.
Mock draft number 5. Now, this is a nice one, man, because look at how it's all color coordinated.
Yeah, this is easier to understand.
Oh, this is easy on the eyes. This really digests nicely.
By the way, this is a nice palate cleanser. This is going to be a hard one to rip.
Oh, watch me rip this one. All right, so with the 9th pick, the Jaguars select Isaiah Simmons. Brent, I'm jumping for joy right now. Are you kidding me? We playing 3-4 this year, baby. Let's go. We got a 3-4. Hey, now hold on, everybody. Wait, those goosebumps are not going to go away because at number 20, we got Javon Kinlaw. We got Isaiah Simmons and Javon Kinlaw.
Did half the teams in the NFL disappear?
All right, so here's the thing. So I'm on board right now. This has all the makings to be an epic mock draft. But at pick number 42, here's where you lose me, not because of the pick, but because of how this draft is shaking out. At pick number 42, you get first-round graded Mekhi Becton, tackle out of Louisville. I'm not sure what app you're using, what website you're using, but you're insulting our intelligence and you're wasting our time. Mock draft number 5 belongs to, what's this guy's name, Brent? Did we get the guy's name?
Yeah, you got to do a better job
Don't
putting
worry.
the names in. By the
Brent,
way, Mekhi Becton, could he slip that far down because of the drug test?
Brent, it's 2020, man. Everyone's doing it. What are you worried about? Hey, Chevy Josh, you couldn't escape me, man. I found you, and I came with receipts, baby. Hey, Chevy Josh, whatever your name is, your mock draft is trash.
Actually, your mock draft is unbelievable, but it won't happen.
Hey, Chevy Josh, your mock draft is decent, but unrealistic.
By the way, just to let you know, they got Amick Robertson, who measures all the. He like tore it up. He's a Louisiana Tech cornerback.
Yeah.
And he's rated first in like every category.
Yeah.
But he's like 5'8". And obviously he played for Louisiana Tech, so a lot of the numbers panned out. He also had Cam Akers and Harrison Bryant in this draft. I mean, it was like 3 people were drafted, and that was it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Mock draft number 6. We have 2 more to go.
Your mock draft was unrealistic. Okay, number 6.
Speaking of unrealistic.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. What are we? So,
how does this happen in these mock drafts?
WWG1, also known as @JagFan2832.
You know, this could actually happen.
Oh, Brent.
I don't see it happening, but I'm just saying it could happen. If Jordan Love goes and knocks somebody back.
Okay.
You know, Jefferson is getting higher on the board. If 4 receivers go, maybe it knocks somebody back.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. That's why I took Kinlaw at number 9, but go ahead.
All right, so Jerry Jeudy, number 9, first round Jacksonville Jaguars. I like that pick, Brent. A lot of people like Jeudy.
I was going Jeudy or Kinlaw.
Best wide receiver probably in the draft. Javon Kinlaw, number 20, falls to Jacksonville. I don't know. I guess people know something that we don't. I think Kinlaw is going to go before number 20.
Kinlaw's not making it past 14.
Yeah. Once again, this guy's popping up at the 42nd pick.
Well, that's a good spot for him, though.
But he's just, okay. So go ahead, Brent. Go ahead and break this mock draft down.
Well, Delpit's all right. A lot of people will rank Delpit in the top 25.
Yep.
I just don't know. And if I could get him in the 2nd round, and if I really feel like that's a sincere upgrade and makes me dynamic in the secondary, I would think about Delpit there. It's incredible value.
Yeah.
When I did my mock draft, I had Antoine Winfield there because of the value was really good. I don't hate that pick.
See, here's my problem, though. I'm not sure how this mock draft, shook out and everything. He's got a Akara at 73. Not a bad pick. People say he's like a lot like Yannick and Ngakoue.
Yeah.
I like that. But why not use that 42nd pick to get the edge rusher? Because someone's going to be there. Whether it's a Gross Matos, Epinasa, they're saying first round, but you never know. The guy could fall. To me, there's an edge rusher at 42 that you could have took.
You wait till 116 to get the corner.
I'm not done. Oh, yeah, for sure. And then down here, then we got, and go ahead and pronounce this guy's name.
I don't know it.
Okay. Well, you took this corner.
Ojemudia.
There we go. At pick 116. And I did some research on him, actually, if I'm not mistaken here. Let me bring that up real quick. Yes. All right. So this cat from Iowa, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd be surprised if the Jags wait until their fifth pick of the draft to get a corner.
Please keep buying me time. Nope, keep going.
I doubt that's going to happen. But I mean, this is a hard draft. This is not an totally unrealistic draft. Although, again, I don't think Kinlaw's getting to 20. Delpit will be there at 42 potentially. Yeah. Delpit or Winfield if you like that spot. I mean, you don't hate it, but again, you need corner more than you need safety. You remember, folks, corner is the most gaping hole on this team right now. There's not even an argument there.
Yeah. So I was right. So this guy's from Iowa. I remember reading about him. Plays in a press-heavy scheme. Doesn't play a lot of zone, and he's a project. Okay, like he is what he is. He's taken at the right spot, but once again, are you bringing a guy in to try to compete with Trey Herndon and be a starter or not? Not sure this guy from Iowa is going to be a starter day one.
If you pick this guy, that means you have to rely on Melvin to be the guy, which you can. The acquisition from Detroit, but
don't take a safety in the 42nd pick. All right, your mock draft sucks. Thank you. Simple as that. Last one, and I'm almost out of breath here. My throat's getting scratchy, but we saved the best for last. Excuse me. All right. Jarius, play this Lifetime music for this one as I rip it to shreds. Play that Lifetime. Oh, it's unsettling, right? So Keith M., also known as @Jarius Digital, replied back with his mock draft, also said boom in all capital letters, like he's screaming boom at me, like you're confident that you just had the mock draft from all mock drafts. But he wasn't done. Also put the hashtag Super Bowl, as if your mock draft is going to get these Jacksonville Jaguars to the Super Bowl. Well, let's break it down, shall we? With the number 9 pick, CeeDee Lamb. Once again, you go receiver. I get it. Are you really fulfilling a need, though? Nah, but you know what? I'll come with you, man. Help Gardner Minshew out a lot. Once again, at number 20, not sure where these mock drafts are coming from, Javon Kinlaw.
Kinlaw keeps falling.
I guess they know something that we don't.
It's not happening.
At pick 42, Antoine Winfield Jr. Brent, what position does he play?
I made this exact same pick, safety.
and what I say about that pick when you picked them?
Yeah, he didn't like it.
All right, spoiler alert, I don't like it from you either, Keith M.
It's a great value pick, though, Keith. I will give you that.
73, Amik Robertson. Not bad for the corner, but once again,
he actually could be a steal. He's just not their style, right? He's like a 5'8" corner.
Thank you very much. To me, if you go after a guy, you want to bring that big-bodied press corner type of guy. This guy's more of the speed. Could play him in the slot, but guess what? You don't need a slot when you got DJ Hayden. Everyone knows that song, right? Everyone knows that song. That's that cat from Cincinnati that was supposed to come here that ended up not coming. Since after that, we got Anthony McFarland with the 116 pick. Raquan Williams, 137 pick inside. I like the interior defensive lineman. Let's go down to pick 165, though, where you finally address a need that I think of the Jacksonville Jaguars. You get Anthony Jennings, edge rusher. Do I like it? Decent, but is he going to come in and give you that need if Yannick Ngakoue is gone? Absolutely not. Stop focusing on your nickel corners. Line up those pass rushers and try to replace Yannick and Ngakoue. Hashtag Super Bowl, more like hashtag your mock draft sucks. And keep in mind too with Jennings. Keep in mind too with Jennings, the edge rusher. He played linebacker in Bama and not defensive end. You're not going to bring him in for a linebacker spot, especially as a weak spot, because we got Miles Jack there. Everyone knows that song too.
You do get Lamar Jackson though, Keith. Very good. I reincarnated as a cornerback.
Which isn't a bad pick, but overall, come on, man. You're not bringing that linebacker in to play rush edge.
Thanks for your participation. We'll have 7 more of them tomorrow. And, these mock drafts, they obviously are not real life, but like those are really not real life. Like, how does Kinlaw slip to 20 in all those? How do some of those guys slip to Mekhi Becton slip to 42? Who's generating these things?
I don't know, man.
This is why people criticize GMs all the time. They think they can get those kind of guys in the 3rd and 4th round.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm flabbergasted. I want a challenge, but literally, you guys just keep setting them up, and we'll keep shooting them down. Now, Brent, out of that whole group right there, what was your favorite mock draft? Because here comes Brent Martineau, Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows. You got to pick up the pieces, man.
Sunshine and Rainbows.
I circled one, but I'm not giving my leaders in the clubhouse.
Okay. I respect it.
We'll do that.
I respect it.
Down the road. Send them in to us on Twitter. We'll do it all week long. Had a lot of fun with that segment and continue to try to find music as well. When we come back, what did you think of The Last Dance? Plus, is this the last dance for Fournette and Ngakoue? Huge story today here in Jacksonville. We revisit that to finish up a Monday here on Draft Week. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up, like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines, and the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for everything you do, and we'll always be here to help you do it. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Jacksonville, it's Brent Martineau. It's a tough time for everyone right now, and we hope you and your families are staying safe and healthy. Our friends at Bold City Heating and Air want me to let you know that they are here if you need them. As many of us now call our office home, the summer heat has also arrived. Temperatures are climbing. If you find yourself in need of an emergency with your AC unit, Bold City Heating and Air wants you to know that they have a crew standing by and on call to help. Mirza and his staff at Bold City Heating and Air are there for you. Call 904-379-1648 or visit them at boldcityac.com.
This is Dave Binion, owner of Zero Res. Here's some good news. Zero Res received some stimulus funding from the government. There are 3 things that I would like to do with this money. First, I want to help slow the spread of COVID-19 by making your home a cleaner, healthier, and safer place to live. Second, I want to keep our employees working so they can provide for their families and keep the economy running. Third, I want to help those in need. So here's my plan. Now through the end of April, Zero Res is offering 25% off all services. That's cleaning carpets, area rugs, tile and grout, upholstery, everything. This also includes stain protectant, pet urine treatments, sealing grout, and granite countertops. 25% off everything. Also, we ask that you submit someone that you know that is in need. Zero Res will clean the carpets in the home of one family in need each day, absolutely free. Help Zero Res fight against the spread of COVID-19. Keep the economy going and help those in need. Give us a call at 287-5727. That's 287-5727. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
It's times like these that remind us all of how precious life is and how our love and relationships are what really matter. At Diamonds Direct, we believe this. Your love and well-being are truly our passion. That's why we've decided to temporarily close our showrooms, a decision rooted in caution and compassion. But rest assured, we are still here for you. Diamonds Direct's experts are behind the scenes helping customers 24/7, giving you access via text, live chat, email, or our special customer hotline that you can call anytime. Remote shopping options and expert guidance are always available, and our commitment to serve you is stronger than ever. Please visit diamondsdirect.com for more information or to start a remote shopping appointment. At Diamonds Direct, we're honored to be the symbol of your commitment to each other. And while we wait during this uncertain time, we encourage you to be safe, cautious, and courageous as we look forward to better days ahead. It's still your love, our passion, and nothing can change that. Not now, not ever.
Hello?
Hey, boss, how's it going?
Hanging like a hermit.
I hear you. Hey, how's your mom doing? I know you're worried because she lives alone and all.
She's good, thanks. Every night she's getting dinner delivered. And every night she answers the door with her SafeTouch security app.
No contact delivery.
Yeah, and SafeTouch cameras are encrypted with all kinds of safeguards.
Yeah, you don't see headlines about SafeTouch systems getting hacked.
Exactly. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I just feel better knowing she has SafeTouch. She's got her emergency buttons, her two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Boss, sounds like you have a love-hate relationship with SafeTouch.
That's complicated. Because being crooks and all, we still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Yeah, the struggle is real.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
These days, the whole world is on the internet 24/7, on their phones, at work, even at the dinner table. It's the internet all the time. So why, when it's time to sell your home, does your traditional agent charge you 6% to list it on the MLS to other agents instead of targeting buyers directly online? That's why Rex was born. For a fee starting at 2%, Rex sells your home where buyers are looking, online, optimized by data-driven marketing, not the MLS. To get started, visit sellwithrex.com. That's sellwithrex.com. With Rex, selling or buying a home has never been easier. Price your home, get a virtual consultation, visit online open houses and showings, all from the comfort of your home with a few clicks of a button. Want to learn more? Visit sellwithrex.com or just use your phone and call 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. License number CQ1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
The American Heart Association is working to help reduce the impact of COVID-19. Serious symptoms like those associated with a heart attack or stroke are still considered urgent. Call 911 at the first sign of a heart attack, stroke, or cardiac arrest to save lives. Visit heart.org for more information.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you.
Shrimp Shack, Miller Ale House, Lillian Sports Bar and Grill, Royal Palm Villages Wine and Tapas, Sea Breeze Food Service, Entire Home Service.
If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Baby boomers and retirees, learn how to de-risk your retirement savings with less risk and higher returns. Secure your retirement income savings with zero downside market protection, plus earn upside market gain. Chuck Oliver, two-time best-selling author and wealth architect, is hosting a free and timely educational webinar. Visit retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com to schedule your webinar day and time. Chuck Oliver is helping baby boomers and retirees thrive in retirement. Visit retirementprotected.com.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau. We at Action Sports Jacks hope you and your family are doing well. Coronavirus has forced a lot of people to choose between buying food and keeping the lights on. Whether you're one of these people or not, we're all living through this pandemic together. We've partnered with Feeding Northeast Florida for a virtual food drive so you can help without leaving your house. To donate now, go to ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
After the fifth championship, which was 96, 97, we were looking at this team and we realized, other than Michael, the rest of the guys were probably at the end of their high productive years. We had to decide whether we keep the team together or not. And we realized maybe this was the time to do a rebuild and not try to win a sixth championship.
By the way, the biggest thing about The Last Dance on ESPN last night, 10-part docu-series on Michael Jordan in 1997 season. Jerry Reinsdorf sounds just like Joe Torre. I mean, I thought it was Joe Torre.
Yeah.
And then I had to look up. I was like, oh, that's Jerry Reinsdorf. He sounds just like him.
No, yeah. I can definitely see that. I got you.
By the way, I don't think that was the biggest thing. All right. We got some loose ends to tie up with Yannick and Fournette. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Man.
There it was. Everybody looking forward to it. We needed this.
Well, by the way,
we needed this.
We built this thing up so much.
By the way, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I'm excited about it, but I wasn't in the camp of I needed this.
Mm-hmm. Well,
can we stop over dramatizing that part of it?
Brent, it's Michael Jordan though, and I understand you're more of a Larry Bird guy, and it is what it is. I understand, but I even watched Larry Bird last night say that Michael Jordan was a god on the basketball court.
I liked part two. Larry was in it.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
by the way,
great.
Hey Michael, you can score 49, you can score 63, but you can't beat the Celtics.
Okay, well it was by himself.
And there was no the true shooting percentage was like 60%. There was no three. That 60 points is wild.
That 63, by the way, 86 Celtics is when I really felt it and saw it and knew what it was. I was 9. And so that 63 I remember vividly. And Celtics were so good that year. I mean, so good. Go back and watch some series on those guys, and it was unbelievable how good they were. But Jordan was incredible. It was interesting. I'd never heard some of those kind of comments out of Bird. That was pretty interesting.
Absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, man. We set at least I did this. I'm sure Kuz did it too. Brent, maybe you did. We set this thing on such a high pedestal to be like, oh, this Michael Jordan 30 for 30. This is going to be insane. It's going to be so good. And usually when you do that, you're disappointed, okay? I did it for the second Star Wars movie. You know how I feel about that one. There's a reason why Jake Ryan's not on the team anymore. Not saying it had something to do with it, but his Star Wars takes, just saying. Jake, have fun in Baltimore, though, man. Congratulations on going to the Baltimore Ravens. Say hi to Clay for us, exactly. But, like, it happens so often where we put the thing on a pedestal and we get disappointed. I was into it, Brent, all right? And I was all in. I mean, just the way that it was done, and I'll be honest with you, I was a little confused in the beginning, right? Because most documentaries you watch, it goes in chronological order. Yeah. You start at one point, and then you tell the story, and it finishes, chronologically at the end. This documentary was all over the place. And I think, in the first, 30 or 40 minutes, it was a little hard to follow, just where are we going with it? Because it was Michael Jordan, as a kid, he was a great competitor. Let's fast forward now to the Bulls playoff game. I'm like, whoa, I want to hear about being a competitor as a kid. Well, then they touched back on that, so I was happy. But I was just like, where are we going with this? So eventually, when I started to get kind of the feel for the pace and the tempo, then I started to enjoy it a little more. But just the behind-the-scenes footage, the reporters, the people with higher authority asking him for autographs and everything before he does these press conferences, I just thought it was well done, and obviously it's only the tip of the iceberg, right? This story with Dennis Rodman, obviously the Scottie Pippen fallout, it's only gonna get more crazier from here.
Yeah, listen, it's Babe Ruth, Tiger Woods, it's Michael Jordan. I mean, so anything with him that you haven't seen before, and actually, I think I actually thought part one was kind of slow, but it was purposeful to reintroduce everybody to Michael Jordan. It's important for my kids who haven't seen Michael Jordan play, maybe haven't read a lot about him, to realize who Michael Jordan was. So I think that part is important. I think a lot of these things do start off a little slower. I know people are so thirsty for it. It's like you can't even find a critic of this thing. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying I thought it did start off a little slow, quite frankly, but then it picked up. The Pippen episode I thought was really good. They make the villain of Krause right away. And you really see what I'm interested in is it goes back really to 85, 86 with the foot injury to Jordan that he already was button heads, yet they lasted that long. The dollar figures people can't even comprehend anymore, right? I mean, what Pippen made is such a big story today, but do you realize that Pippen ended up making more to play in the NBA than Jordan did in his career? Jordan signed a terrible deal as well, but at the back end of it, he made like $30 and $33 million a year to kind of balance it out. Yeah. Those guys did not get paid a lot of money. Now, Jordan's worth $2.1 billion now. Because of the shoes and everything else, and he's been a marketing machine. This will put that in perspective. I looked it up, said, okay, what's Tiger worth then? Because he feels like he's worth like a couple of $1 billion, right? Yeah. Tiger's worth $800 million. Wow. Michael Jordan, $2.1 billion. And he got paid less to play the sport than Scottie Pippen got paid.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane to even fathom. To me, this biggest takeaway so far that I've got from this documentary is that even with Michael Jordan, we're all a product of our environment, okay? Michael Jordan just wasn't walking out of the womb one day and said, I'm the best basketball player in the world. No, he came from a pretty strict upbringing. He came from an older brother who got all the love from his dad. That was pretty cool. And Michael Jordan, when he wanted to help his dad out in the garage, fix the car, said, nah, man, this isn't for you. And he had to go by his mom, okay? And then when he would lose to his brother or he beat his brother in basketball, his older brother, they would get in fistfights, all right? Bloody fistfights. And then you fast forward to that. Obviously, yes, he didn't make his high school team when he first tried out, works hard the next year, makes it then. But to me, too, you talk about the environment and cultivating greatness. He goes to North Carolina. Dean Smith. I don't know a lot about Dean Smith. Obviously, Dean Smith's before my time. But you want to talk about respect and admiration that I have for Dean Smith, because what did Dean Smith do? Michael Jordan led the team to a national championship. Any coach in their right mind, any basketball coach would have said, all right, man, you got to come back. Let's do this again, right? We have momentum right now. I need you to be a leader now. Let's continue to go forward, and let's win some more championships. Let's start a dynasty here at North Carolina. What did Dean Smith tell him? Said, you're ready to go to the NBA. How many coaches out there are going to tell their student athletes to leave early because they're ready?
I think they do it now more, to be honest with you, but I think back then it was very unusual to do that at that time. I think. But I want to say it's done a little bit more now because that's cultivating a culture where you can get more of those guys and take care of them.
But to be fair, I mean, that's what it's all about now, though, Brent.
But you're right.
If you're in high school, you're getting recruited, you go to Kentucky, you know you're going to be a one and done.
Yeah.
And then the head coach, Calipari, knows that. But I thought it was really cool by Dean Smith to do that.
I thought so too. Listen, I'll tell you this. Again, when Jordan starts his career, I'm 7 years old. what I did not realize as much, I always thought Michael Jordan was overplayed as a college player because of his greatness in the NBA. Well, some people say he's the best. Then he voted recently.
Well, there was like a tournament bracket or something that said he's the best college basketball player of all time.
This sounds weird, but you can make the case really that Christian Laettner's a better college basketball player overall, resume and all that stuff than Jordan. But what I didn't realize is just how good Jordan was. Like I kind of had squashed him down because I thought everybody else had built him up. I didn't realize he was that good in those last couple of years. I knew he'd hit that game-winning shot, but I didn't know there was more to it. And then I also didn't know Jordan was so instantly good because when I am watching in those years, I'm watching Magic and Bird, Celtics and Lakers, and they were the dominant team. Though Jordan started to creep up in the late 80s, started really with that 86 game. I didn't realize in 84 he was that good as a rookie as he was, and instantaneous. The league knew he was great. I just didn't understand that. So it was kind of cool to go back and watch that kind of stuff to get the whole Jordan perspective.
Well, and how crazy was it, too, when he first got drafted? He gets to Chicago, and I forgot what they exactly quoted it, but it was like the cocaine train, the cocaine bus, right? And Michael Jordan, fresh out of college, leaves early, still a kid in some eyes, finds himself at a party with cocaine, with women, with weed, with drinking. Where does he go? He goes, no, you know what? I'm probably going to go back home and just do my own thing. I'm going to go watch movies, work on my game, and get a good night's sleep. What kid does that these days? To me, that was so telling, Brent, where, especially in team sports where it's all about being a people pleaser. It's all about trying to make friends on that team and trying to impress those guys. He could easily say, oh, yeah, you know what? Let's get a line going here because I got to impress you guys. I need to earn your respect. But no, how did he go about it? He wasn't influenced by peer pressure. He said, I'm going to earn the respect by taking out the baddest guy on the Bulls in practice. And that's how I earned my respect. And guess what, man? By the third, fourth game of the regular season, when he was a rookie, he earned the respect, and he was the guy on the team as a rookie. It's crazy.
Driving Dish podcast, I know you were into it. You weren't born during those years, Coos. What did you take or make of it last night?
It was really cool. Like you said, I wasn't really around or wasn't able to comprehend what was going on, so it's cool to see it from this kind of light. The main thing I got from it was how would social media react and how would teams react if your star player was secretly playing 5-on-5 when you're supposed to be injured?
It wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't.
Yeah, it just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen by that he was even allowed to go there, most likely.
Right.
I don't think anymore. I mean, those are some of the cool things. You're right. I think the way sports has changed, the dollars, how it's changed, all of that is fascinating. We're just scratching the surface. What I will say for everybody who's like, oh, my gosh, this is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I actually was like, okay, it's a little bit of a slow start. Love the Pippen episode because I think Pippen is so underrated as a player. But this is going to get a lot better.
Yeah.
It's going to get a lot. You talk about behind-the-scenes footage of when it gets kind of muddy, when Rodman starts getting into it. They set up everything very nicely. I think it's going to get really, really good, and it's really cool to watch. It's cool to relive it a little bit, but also get some of the anecdotal stuff that we might not know. We talked about this in break. Krause.
Yeah.
He's kind of he's the villain.
He's the villain, and in every great documentary, you need a villain.
You need the villain. What's interesting is he's passed. So he doesn't have a chance to defend himself.
It's rough, man.
So it's rough in a sense, but I said to you also, I was like, but it's like unequivocally he was the villain. Like everybody, Phil Jackson, Jordan, Pippen, all these folks are saying, even Reinsdorf to a degree. Now they say he's a very nice man, but he made his own bed. Heck, Kerr, who is considered one of the nicest guys at all, he said he got in his own way. So I think even if maybe Krause was here to say what he could say, he probably would admit his faults.
No, I agree with that, and listen, I just hope that, everything about him. And so far, I think everything said about Jerry Krause, because we saw the footage, we saw the candid interviews, right? We saw the press conferences. So it all warrants a merit right now. I just don't want to see this documentary turn into a slam piece on Krause. And maybe they start bringing in fabrications, which I don't think they're going to do because you have so much content. But you do feel a little bad for him and the family just because the guy can't defend himself.
Yeah.
But I mean,
you also give him major props, man. He rebuilt that thing.
Yeah.
Don't lose sight of that. From 85 to 96, even before it got dramatic.
Yeah.
what he built was amazing.
So, and I'm going to say this too, and you said, it was a little boring to start out with it, and I disagree wholeheartedly, but once again, this is where I'm coming from, right? Like, I'm a diehard MJ fan. I grew up in the perfect time when he was on top, and then I was a kid, and I was so influenced by everything that guy did. But to me, it's entertaining even from the first minute. And the cell phone was put on silent, didn't pay attention to my wife and kid, just because I was in the zone, man. And the cool thing is this is really the first time I've ever seen Michael Jordan just sit down and talk. Okay, like there's books out there. You can read those books if you want to. There's information out there. There's documentaries about him, but not with him sitting down. Dude, this is Michael Jordan sitting down on national television, swearing, just kind of being one of the guys.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's the first time I got to see that.
It's authentic.
And that's why it's so awesome.
I've always said this. Someday, I'm not saying Tebow's going to sit there and swear, but to tell us about these days, what will Tebow say? What will Tiger Woods say when he can let the guard down fully someday when he's 60 years old? I am fascinated with that these kind of characters, when they will unveil the curtain to all of us, at least to a degree. I'm sure they won't tell us all. But I love the fact that we get to at least a peek inside greatness, like you were saying, how greatness was built. I mean, I made sure the kids sat and listened to that segment.
There's a lot of life lessons
and by the way,
right
I think this thing should be called how I ended up beating two Larrys or something like that. Larry, his brother, Larry Bird.
Well, Larry Jordan, by the way.
What was kind of cool too for us, like my fiance, she's not a big, especially basketball, not a big basketball fan. So the slow intro was kind of like literally taking it from square one. She knows who Michael Jordan is, but we're watching it and she's like, who's Danny Ainge? And I'm like, oh, well, now he does this and stuff like that, which, by the way, I will say, I feel like there's more of that golf game that they didn't talk about. But
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
I get video of that.
Yeah, exactly. So it was kind of cool, like, to see her follow along and be like, Steve Kerr, wait, I know that name. I was like, yes, he's on the Warriors, or the coach of the Warriors now. So, like, you get these, you're kind of like seeing it connect the dots for people who are really not
attached
fully into it.
Absolutely. And that's what that's why I'm not being critical saying it was slow. I thought it was a little slow for me at the beginning, but that's how they all start. But it was brilliant in the sense of pulling people in that don't know the story. Yeah. Kids. Really, kids. I mean, he's already impacted generations of players and people who wear sneakers and buy sneakers and all that stuff. Well, now you might be able to impact another generation in all these years. Kobe will have that impact in effect, I think, down the road too. But I think players like these guys, listen, kids know who Babe Ruth is, and he's been dead for however many years,
Sure, yeah.
So Jordan is that. And so I think that they did a really good job of pulling the people in that really didn't live through those days like maybe you did.
Well, I thought they did a fantastic job to a Scottie Pippen, because going forward now we can see Scottie Pippen's going to be a huge deal of this documentary, which he should be.
I wonder if Jordan helped influence that, prop him up and make sure he gets his due.
But people forget just how influential Scottie Pippen was as well, right? Because growing up, yes, Michael Jordan was the guy, but then you had Pippen, you had Rodman, and there were some kids out there who Pippen was their favorite player, because you always are reminded of him getting the steal at half court and then driving down and slamming the dunk and everything. So,
all right. Speaking of Kuz, I thought asked a great question today. Is Pippen to the Bulls in '97? Is that Jan and the Jags? We talked about an hour ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's equal, but it's interesting now with you have this Krause thing versus Pippen in '97, and now we saw what happened today with Tony Khan. Just to wrap it all up, I mean, this back and forth on social media. I'll have more on TV tonight about it too, on CBS 47 and Fox 30. But this is we just talked to Sal Paolantonio. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah,
we agree that this is not good for Jan, right?
Well, and let's make an argument here. My big argument was the fact that Yannick Ngakoue didn't sign a contract, right? Scottie Pippen did, and that was his fault. But Yannick Ngakoue believed in himself. So my question is, does Yannick Ngakoue have a right to be even more angry than Scottie Pippen is? Because Scottie Pippen did it to himself. And I get Yannick Ngakoue did it to himself as well, but he did it to himself by how? Banking on himself, believing in himself, and then unfortunately the machine, the market, turned its back on Yannick Ngakoue and said, guess what? You had a decent year, 8-something sacks, a pretty healthy season, caused a lot of plays, a lot of quarterback, got hit, fumbled the ball, but guess what? We're not going to pay you top dollar this year just because the market doesn't dictate that. I wonder if Jan even has more grounds to be upset than Scottie Pippen does.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good call. I mean, it is not apples to apples, but I like the similarity in thinking that way. What now, though, man? Does Jan lay off Twitter? I mean, is he done?
Man.
Is there more coming tomorrow? I mean, I think Tony Khan Yeah. He kind of did a little both. He took his shots. He positioned himself, but he also played the high road to a degree. Again, Jan's the one that looks bad here. I was surprised at the whole back and forth, but Jan doesn't look good in this. He'd be better off just kind of laying low now, right? Is that what you'd advise him?
He would be, man, but I'm also a realist. Sometimes I'm not an optimist. And guess what everyone's talking about today? It's Yannick Ngakoue and Tony Khan going at it. That's bad optics for the Jaguars. That's what Yannick Ngakoue wants right now. He's got to understand that he's doing himself no favors by, doing this stuff and bringing the team down. But that's the goal. That's what Jalen Ramsey showed him how to do. And I think he's going to do that until he gets what he wants. Unfortunately, what he doesn't realize is when you continue to do this kind of stuff, it doesn't help you out, man. It just puts you in a bad light, and you don't need that right now.
Hey, quick shout-out to Tavares Barnes, who's had a rough really a couple of months. Former Saints player, Clemson defensive end, was playing in the XFL, and then that shut down, and now his grandmother's house caught fire as well. If you know Tavares Barnes and the family, go check out his GoFundMe page. We were passed along.
Yeah, he's from Jacksonville with the
Jacksonville
First
guy.
Coast,
Yep. She doesn't have homeowners insurance. She's a retired teacher, now a substitute, and obviously not getting paid because of the situation. So if you have a chance, go check out his GoFundMe page, Tavares Barnes and the family. So best wishes to that young man and their family. Well, we don't think the Jan situation's going away. Shock your mock tomorrow again. Jason Fitz will join us, and we get closer and closer to the NFL draft. It's all on the way on a Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow on ESPN 690. Once again, I'll see you tonight on TV, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Our normal way of life has been changing quickly due to coronavirus. New rules to follow, and basically all sports have been put on hold. Heck, you might even be working from home. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. If you're not in the car from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m., check in on Action